nicknamed me Diarrhea Jones. Of course, that was before they learned what I did with apes.
Hello and welcome to the Kongversation. I'm Hyle Russell.
And I'm Malik.
Malik! Hello! It's been
there
a while
we go.
Since you've been on the show. Oh.
Yeah, it's been like since the last year's season premiere, actually.
Well, at least we're consistent. Yes, and we are back. It is the Kongversation Season 7. We had a wee little bit of downtime there, where we rested our heads and
long winter's nap.
Yes, got our strength back, and now got to clear something up really quick here, Malik. For those of you who did listen to the end of last season, you heard what sounded like a nuclear explosion that decimated the planet. Once again, I apologize about this. It wasn't anything of the sort, so I'm sorry to worry you. As you might remember, on the season finale, I was eating quite a bit of pizza during that episode. Jeff delivered a pizza, and, well, Malik, you know how lactose intolerant I am, right?
Yes, I know that for a fact. I haven't seen that episode, but yeah, I'm going to have to listen to that now.
Yes, well, okay, so as it turns out, because I went to the doctor. That's a lie. I don't have health insurance. But I found out that I'm not just lactose intolerant. I also have quite the aversion to highly acidic tomato sauces and tomato
Good
juices. Lord. So they tend to cause extreme gastrointestinal discomfort. And so, yeah, all the more reason I need to quickly patent the idea I had on the last episode for a pizza that eliminates the cheese and sauce and uses fried rice as a topping. That was my idea.
I think you should just convert to fried rice at that point, I guess.
No, I want pizza, but I want a fried rice pizza, Malik. But, yeah, anyway. So, yeah,
Fair
cheese
enough.
and tomato sauce. Getting old sucks. But enough about my butt. I also want to address another thing from sort of the end of last season. So we were recording this January 29th, 2019. And as of January 29th, 2019, nobody has yet found the missing episode for season 6. So we have this big contest. I mean, it's not a big contest. It's a small contest. But
yeah.
It's if you can find the missing episode of season 6, which is an actual full-length Kongversation episode that we recorded. It's real. It exists. Nobody's heard it, but it exists. The first person to follow the clues laid down in season 6 and get to where the episode is hidden and at us on Twitter, at DKVine, the first person to do so will win an autographed copy of Sea of Thieves #1, signed by the author, Jeremy Whitley. Nobody's found it yet, Malik. Nobody has found it yet.
It's not those weird little backwards messages that I hear every now and again, are they?
All right, I don't know what you're talking about there. I think I think you're hallucinating, personally. I think you need to lay off the ganja. But even if I knew what you're talking about, that sounds like something that you would have hallucinated 2 years ago, therefore not applicable to the previous season.
Yeah, maybe I'm hallucinating that it was last year. I don't know. Yeah, you might be right. I mean, I do come from a Jamaican line, so it might be hereditary.
Yeah. So all of those Canadian strains too, they're just very potent.
That's right. We passed that.
Yeah.
It hasn't smelled too bad for the last little while, but it's only a matter of time.
But the contest is still going on, Malik. That was my point. The point is, if you thought, well, I'm not going to find it, surely somebody's going to beat me to the punch in the first 5 minutes. That's the way these things usually go. You're wrong. Either nobody cares, or it's just so well hidden that it's still stumping everybody. So it's probably a little bit of both, quite honestly. But probably more so on the nobody cares side of the equation. But whatever. Hey, the contest is still going on. So get out your Cumberbatches and start benedicting your detective skills all over the place. Missing episode. Even if you don't care about this signed comic, even if you don't care about this highly valuable collector's item, even if you don't care about that, you still got a whole episode of the Kongversation you haven't heard. And I'm really not making a good case for ever finding this, am I?
Not really, but I mean, I'd like to hear that sometime. If someone can find it, I'd gladly listen to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the rule of thumb is that only the first person who finds it and gives us proof on Twitter is eligible. Malik, you are actually not eligible since you co-hosted the Kongversation last season. So
very well.
No nepotism going on here, but yeah, no, anybody who finds it can share it on social media and then can share it with anybody they want to share it with. They don't have to keep it hidden or anything, but I am never going to advertise where it is on this program. So it's up to you, the people, to figure it out. All right, well, new year, sort of. I mean, it's the end of January at this point, but it's a new year for the Kongversation, ergo, that's all that matters. And it's 2019, Kongversation Season 7. And, will 2019 live up to the heights of 2018, Season 6, for the Donkey Kong universe and Rare? Probably not, because last year was a crazy year, Malik. I mean, I don't need to belabor that. The whole season finale was belaboring that, but
I mean, the year started off so strong. In January, this time last year, we were getting excited for Funky Kong in a Switch release of Tropical Freeze, and by the end of it, we're playing as King K. Rool in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such a big year for Donkey Kong, for Rare, and I think we have a lot of momentum going into 2019, and even if it's not as mind-blowing this year, it's still going to be, I think, a pretty good year. So already in 2019, we have Donkey Kong becoming apparently a trans rights icon, even endorsed by Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And this is a story I completely missed when it was happening. People were texting me and adding me and saying, hey Hyle, you gotta talk about this. And I first heard about it when I was at a wake. So I was my phone was going off and I'm like, why are people, what is happening? I'm with a dead body right now. This is kind of disconcerting. And so I figured that it wasn't actually a story, that it was just the ghost at the funeral home kind of glitching out my phone. Right. But now that happened, and then the announcement just a couple days ago that Retro Studios is now working on Metroid Prime 4. And so there's been some behind the scenes kerfluffling there, Malik. But there's also the news just the other day. Phil Spencer kind of let it slip in an interview that Rare is indeed working on a new project concurrently with their Sea of Thieves updates.
Really?
So, yeah. So for more on those two topics, stay tuned next week for the Kongversation. That'll be episode 702. Assuming, I don't know, they don't announce something crazy in the interim. I say it's what's planned now, but when news breaks, we've got to cover it. But it's also clear, in addition to all of that Playtonic is building up to something, that the Donkey Kong brand is healthier than it's been in 20 years. And I don't say that lightly, Malik, but it's true. The Donkey Kong brand is healthier than it's been in 20 years. So here in the U.S., we have a store it's a mall store, so not in every mall, but it is it's a new kind of collectible store called Box Lunch. It's it's more directed towards nerds who collect Funko Pops and stuff. Less so Spencer Gifts or Hot Topics, which caters to that crowd.
we don't associate with those people, do we, Hyle?
No, but Box Lunch is more straight up nerd culture, and right now they have almost an entire bay dedicated to Donkey Kong merchandise, Donkey Kong branded merchandise, not Super Mario merchandise with Donkey Kong characters, Donkey Kong branded merchandise. I'm talking boxer shorts. I'm talking t-shirts. I'm talking this weird sleeveless number that looks just like the worst thing ever, and I would never wear it. I'm talking mugs, shot glasses, a fanny pack, Malik. They have fanny packs with Donkey Kong.
And this is all official.
It's all official. It's all official.
Like officially licensed by Nintendo and all that?
Yeah, so Donkey Kong is its own merchandising. But we talked a little bit about this last season on the Kongversation.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And we're starting to see the fruits of that, of Donkey Kong being split off from Mario, and Nintendo's aggressive plans to build up Donkey Kong as its own IP again. So, check it out. If you have a box lunch in your area, you might have to look it up, do the tippity-tap type on your phone or computer to figure that out. But if you do, stop on by. It's actually pretty damn cool. So, yeah, anyway, I know 2019, Malik, the mood, especially here in the United States, it's downbeat. We're at each other's throats. And even those with the same political and religious beliefs, we're viewing each other in bad faith. We just don't trust each other, giving each other the side eye. And we've all resigned ourselves to this glum inevitability that we're all living in the end times of humankind. But you know what? Shake that off, I say. It's not the end times. It's probably just tomatoey diarrhea. It's going to be all right. DK Vine is here to spread positivity, warmth, and love via the discussion of silly games with mostly nude.
How else are you going to do that?
Yeah, with silly games with mostly nude cartoon characters that collect fruit and other foodstuffs. We're going to save the world, Malik. We're going to do it. We're going to save the world with the Donkey Kong universe. That is my goal for this season, to save the world.
I think we'll be able to do that.
It's also my goal to get the Nintendo president on the Kongversation, because the 20th anniversary of Mario Golf Game Boy Color will be this year. Apparently the guy's a big fan, big fan of RPG golf games. So I figure he's going to want to appear on that Spotlight episode.
Well, if you guys can get the president of Rare on your show, I don't see why you couldn't do the same with Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not like that's a completely different thing, and it's not. He apparently speaks English, so there won't be a language barrier. Although that would be hilarious if there was. So, anyway, that's another goal. We gave up on Fabio a long time ago. I don't care about Fabio. I just want the president of Nintendo to talk about RPG golf for an episode.
Who is this Fabio guy, if I may ask? I've heard him throughout the years, but I have no idea who he is.
He's got these long flowing blonde locks. He was popular in the 90s, appeared on some romance covers. He can't believe it's not butter, Malik. He just can't believe it. Also, he got hit by a bird on a roller coaster one time.
Did he die?
He did not die. The bird died.
Oh.
You can look up those pictures on the Google image search. Do the tippity tap type on that. Bring it right up. It was the roller coaster Apollo's Chariot at Busch Gardens here in lovely Virginia. So little home state pride there for what we did to Fabio. All right, Malik.
Oh dear, it looks bad.
He just looked it up.
It looks really bad. He does not look happy, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Malik, I know this is a spotlight episode, and we usually try to keep these evergreen and not, weigh it down too much with what's upsetting our bowels this year or our bank accounts. But right. I got to do this. So on some extremely frustrating news for DK Vine and for me. YouTube sent me a little notice the other day that said, "Hey, we've demonetized you, DK Vine. You're no longer earning any money from us for at least a month." So I'm not exactly sure why, and I did a little research. I'm thinking what happened was their algorithm, because this wasn't done by a human hand, their algorithm erroneously believed that all of those Kongversation episodes we were uploading to our YouTube channel, and still are, this episode is going to be on YouTube, all of those were not actually DK Vine's own podcast, that we were just taking somebody else's podcast and putting it on our own channel and attempting to profit off of it through revenue sharing with ads. And because people do this, people like they look up the whatever shitty podcast they listen to. They take the bits they like, they put it up on YouTube, and then they attempt to get some coin from it. And they do that. That's not right. But here's the thing, though, Malik. I own the Kongversation. Like, this is my podcast. This is DK Vine's podcast, and that is DK Vine's YouTube channel. So it shouldn't be a problem. But they said no more revenue from ads on your YouTube channel. Ergo, for at least the next month, I have taken a serious cut in my income. And because DK Vine isn't PewDiePie, and because I'm Hyle Russell and not Hyle Paul, the older brother to beloved YouTube sensation Logan, I can't get a live person to talk to me about this because I don't rank, I don't matter. And unfortunately, I've already factored in, from how I make my living, this money that I get every month from YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I am now left twisting in the wind like a tube man. The only difference is those tube men at the used car lots, they probably get paid more than I do for this. So I'm hungry, Malik. I'm hungry. I don't have any Angry Orchard in my refrigerator. I can barely even afford crackers at this point. So I might have to resort to other sources of income. Illicit activities.
If only there was a website that could do that for you.
Well, yeah, no, there is. This is why our Patreon is so important. DKVine.com/Patreon. While I try to resolve this with YouTube, and hey, drop YouTube a line for us if you're feeling frisky and say, hey, YouTube, why you gotta do DK Vine so raw? DK Vine, what? So, DKVine.com/Patreon. Your money is more important now than ever to keep the dream of DK Vine alive. Because up, DK Vine's Patreon, it basically, we have enough patrons to support the infrastructure of the website. Our server cost, miscellaneous cost for, things we need to run DK Vine. That's where it goes to. But, I'm thinking like, E3 is coming up, I'm gonna have to afford going out there, and I don't really know how I'm gonna do that if YouTube is not giving us our share of the profits from the ads on our YouTube channel. So anyway, please
get on it, people. Please
support us on Patreon. The new DK Vine stickers are rolling out in February. The 2019 Series 4 stickers. We're not going to reveal which characters have been selected, but those characters have been selected. And so everybody at the $1 and up tier will get those stickers. And if you give us $1 a month now, if you're not a patron, you'll still get Series 3, the 2018 stickers, and you'll get the Series 4 2019 stickers as well. Also, everybody at the $10 and up tier will be getting the new DK Vine bumper sticker, regardless of whether or not you already got a bumper sticker in previous years. The new bumper sticker will have the new DK Vine design and aesthetics. It'll also be an oval bumper sticker to fit modern bumper aesthetics. So, we're giving out those. $2 a month and up, you can get Kongversations a day early, as well as any video content we do. And $5 and up, you'll get live streams. Yeah, you get to join us on the Kongversation live as we record. Hello, live stream. How you doing?
Hi, everybody. How's it going? You liking this so far?
Hi.
What do they say, Hyle? What do they say? I can't see them.
They don't. Oh, they say hi. Angry Ancestor says hi. Hi, all lowercase, hi.
That's all I could ask for. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so that's fun. Hey, Malik, you also have a Patreon. Want to plug that real quick?
Yeah, sure. Check out my Patreon, because I use it for the same reason Hyle uses it, but it's probably not as important as Hyle's. And while you're on YouTube, make sure you also drop them a line, like the people who are dropping a line for Hyle. Drop them one for me, because I am currently in like some sort of legal issue with a Pokemon video I did. And they have the right to sue me because they took down my video, but just tell them it's not I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh no, not. I mean, I don't know. Is the Pokemon company especially litigious when it comes to YouTube videos?
Usually when it comes to the TV show, that's when they start to bring down the banhammer. I did a review of one of the movies, and then like poof, someone took it down. Now I'm fighting a thing. It's like, if you do this, if you fight back, we could sue you. It's like, I hope they don't sue a kid in his basement. Please don't.
Luckily, they have enough Pokemon merchandise that you could reenact the Pokemon movie just with the plushes or the figures or whatever. Like, there's literally one for every character, so...
I could do it, man. You have no idea.
You could. Also, since we're going to be talking about Mario Party, seriously, we are going to talk about it. Malik also edited and researched a new Did You Know Gaming about the history of Mario Party.
Yeah, we did. It was called Mario Party Secrets, and I wrote it, edited it, researched it, and my buddy Daz, who's one of the guys at Did You Know Gaming, he narrated it. And yeah, you should go watch it. It hit like number 45 on trending for gaming on YouTube, which doesn't really happen all that often. I don't know why people are teaming over Mario Party right now, but maybe it's because they heard about the conversation we were doing.
Oh, it's definitely not because of that. No. I'm looking at the live stream right now. Nobody's excited about this one. So,
I'm trying to lift your spirits, Hyle.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna have to bag groceries probably in a few weeks. I'm just. Sorry,
Did you also know that 2019 was the 20th anniversary of when Fabio got hit by that bird?
Oh, is it? Wow. So
yeah.
it's synchronicity, man. So I am on my last Angry Orchard, but I feel like I need it more than ever now. So I'm just... Don't leave me, Angry Orchard. All right. Also, be sure to follow DK Vine on social media. Our Facebook page, it goes into some pretty deep dives into Donkey Kong Universe lore. Daily updates for that one. DKVine.com/Facebook. We get into some ridiculous stuff there. The Twitter feed is more of my quippy finger vomit, and it's me harassing rare and platonic employees and alum. But it's also I keep it at least one tweet a day. So. DKVine.com/Twitter. And I'd say follow us on YouTube, but what's the point?
Please follow them.
No, please follow us on YouTube. The bigger we get, the bigger the chance they'll take my calls.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah, please follow me, Malik. Please follow me on YouTube.
I already do.
Also, hashtag bring back the spiders.
Yeah, where are they? They're still not back yet.
They're still not back yet. No, we're waiting. But please get that hashtag.
Please bring back the spiders.
No. Please, hashtag bring back the spiders. We don't need to muddle it. Just please, hashtag bring back the spiders.
It's been so long, I'm thinking they might have died already.
No. We're going to bring them back, because that is how we're going to bring about world peace, Malik, is to bring back those spiders. All right. Here we go. Mario Party, Malik. Here we are. We're in Spotlight mode now. Spotlight mode, almost a half hour into it. We are really doing this now.
Just like old times.
Yes. Season 7 is off to a great start. All right. 1999 was a monumental, tide-changing year for the Donkey Kong universe.
Right.
It was coming off of a relatively quiet 1998, which only saw Banjo-Kazooie released in the summer, which was still a huge deal. I mean, I don't need to tell you that, but there was no November or December release that year. That was pretty much the territory of both Pokemon, making its North American debut, and also Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So the DKU was pretty much shut out for the first time in that holiday release cycle. Donkey Kong Country Mania had been over for a couple of years by that point, and while Banjo was still big, having just come out only half a year prior, by the end of 1998, fans like me were wondering, well, what's next? When are we gonna get something new? We didn't have to wait long. Because on New Year's Eve, 1998, going into the morning of 1999, Nintendo of America's website officially revealed 3 Nintendo 64 games that would not only define the DKU in 1999, but for the next several years at that. Mario Party, Super Smash Bros., and Donkey Kong 64. 3 very different games, 3 very different legacies. And, that still haunt us 20 years later. Obviously, DK64 was where all my attention was at. Enough that it spurred me to finally stop being just the pesky rare fanatic that hung out on the Nintendo.com Insider forums, harassing people, being just a public menace about this notion of a shared Donkey Kong universe. People didn't want to hear it. Even back then, even like a year after Diddy Kong Racing, people were like, we don't care. Leave us alone. We want to talk about Ocarina of Time, and you're over here blabbing about the implications of Naughty being in Click Clock Wood. Shut up, you weirdo. So,
how dare they?
I know, right? So, little did I know, a fellow youth by the name of Chad was also kind of spurred by this news of Donkey Kong 64. And he and I were both starting to kick around ideas on our own about our coming up with a website to really get all of this out there. And our paths would soon cross, but Donkey Kong 64, that wasn't until the holiday season. So it would be the big November release. So as much as the hype was all about Donkey Kong 64, we could only be hyped for it so much because we only had one screenshot and only just a little bit of news.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was Mario Party and Super Smash Bros., 2 games that were already out in Japan or almost already out in Japan, and that we had apparently not even, had been in nobody's radar in the West up until this point. Of the 2, of course, Smash Brothers was the more surreal sounding, and it was the one, the attention grabber. It was a fighting game with Nintendo's biggest characters, the kind of thing you would kind of fantasize about when you were a kid, but you never thought Nintendo would actually do. It was completely unfathomable that it was actually a real product at this time, and I was even a little leery that would we even get it here, outside of Japan. It just seemed like it might be one of those things where they would keep it in Japan, and we wouldn't actually get it because we can't have Mario and Donkey Kong slapping each other. We can't have Link shoving his sword into Fox's side. That just it would be too much for the West because they would tend to coddle us, Malik. Nintendo of America especially would tend to coddle its audience for the longest time. So but of course Smash Brothers came out, and as low key as that first game was, of course it became to eventually dominate every Nintendo console generation. Everything would revolve around Smash Brothers.
The Kingmaker, so you guys say.
The Kingmaker. It would become the Kingmaker in less than a decade, but up until that point, it was just this quirky little game that may or may not see release later in 99. That left us with Mario Party. And Mario Party, it was already out in Japan when they announced it here for the West. It came out December 18th, 1999 in Japan. And it was relatively quickly given an early February release here in North America, with Australia and Europe getting it a month later.
Right. Yeah. March 99 is also when Fabio got hit. I just wanted to bring that up one last time.
So he could
now you got me on a Fabio tangent.
Right. So he could have played Tug of War. Hypothetically, he could have played Tug of War in February 99, injured his hand, and then when that wound finally healed into a scar,
surely
he
it
got
can't
on that
get any
roller
worse.
coaster. Yeah. Man, he had a crappy 1999.
What a year. What a way to start it off.
Man, wait until he got to Donkey Kong 64 and Beaver Bother. Man, that would have just killed... That would just crush the poor guy. Poor Fabio.
I'm surprised he's still around.
So, Mario Party, of course, initially the series was developed by Hudson Soft, the now defunct Hudson Soft. Hudson Soft, up until this point, was mostly known for Bomberman, I believe. And, you know, they... to say they're not still around is a bit of a misnomer because the core talent that comprised Hudson Soft just formed a new company. So to say like, oh, they're not really around, it's true, but the people who are still making Mario Party games, I believe they formed ND Cube or End Cube. I don't know how to pronounce. Probably.
Well, it's kind of funny. We actually like talked about it in the Did You Know Gaming that I did. Like,
okay.
A lot of the guys, like, how did it go? So, Konami bought up Hudson, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna dissolve these guys in due time. But a little bit before that, several of Hudson's, like, employees went to go for ND Cube, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Nintendo, and they made, ND Cube made Wii Party and Wii Party U, and then after Mario Party 8, the Konami bought up Hudson, but lots of people from Hudson moved over to NT Cube, including the company president, who's still the president there. He's had like a supervising role on every Mario Party since the first one, even with Super Mario Party, actually.
Okay, well, there you go. So,
just a little tidbit.
Little tidbit, yeah. Thank you for educating me on that matter.
At least I can do.
Mario Party was, you know, I don't need to belabor it. We all know what it is. It's a video game board game, but a very traditional board. It's not like this new board game resurgence where it's like Settlers of Catan and all of these like very, very like high-end strategy-based board games. Mario Party it's something like fucking Candyland or Chutes and Ladders. There's strategy involved, but most of it is luck. Especially those early Mario Party games. Luck played a big role in it. There was skill involved, but then the game could just unfairly like beat you over the side of the head and say, nope, all those coins are now going to this other player. So, you know, I wasn't that excited about Mario Party, truth be told, in early 99. I mean, it was like, oh, okay, so now we've got several games coming out that have the modern Donkey Kong, but aren't developed by Rare. It was a little frightening to me, this notion that the floodgates were opening up, and I think I was ultimately proven correct to be worried, but by the time February hit and like we started thinking about it a little bit more, I got more excited. Ooh, you know, I have a new game to play with the Donkey Kong Country Donkey Kong. Ooh, okay, sure. So, I would have to say Mario Party was the least enthused I was up until that point about getting a new Donkey Kong universe game. But when it finally rolled around, I reserved it from Toys R Us and got it the day of release. So, you know, whatever. And
pretty unenthused.
Yeah. Mario Party was, in many ways, though, weirdly, the pseudo-sequel to Mario Kart 64. Not a sequel in terms of gameplay or what the game was, or being a follow-up in any sort of form or fashion. We would have to wait until Mario Kart Super Circuit in 2001 for that. Right. But spiritually, at least in the context of the storyline, it was very much a game that came after Mario Kart 64 and followed up a little bit on the notion that these are characters who have very recently competed against one another, because the storyline of the game is, well, it's pretty paper thin and pretty insulting a little bit. It insulted my intelligence even back then. But then what didn't? I didn't watch Disney movies because I felt they were condescending. So,
wow.
Yeah, I was a little bit of a Niles Crane even as a small child. And now I don't really care so much. Now that I've seen the harsh realities of the adult world, I kind of pine for the innocence of childhood, which I spurred when I was a child myself. Now I'm kind of, okay, Disney, sure, whatever. Fine. I think I'm slowly, as I get older, I'm already embracing becoming senile, just because I want to experience childhood again. Full stop. I want to be a little kid watching cartoons in front of the TV.
You could go by the surname Senile Hyle.
Yeah, sure. Senile Hyle.
That works.
Hyle. Yeah. That will be very, very exciting, assuming, the conversation lasts until I reach senior citizen stage. But I get to wear a diaper again. I mean, things are looking up.
It kind of reverts. It kind of reverses.
Yeah, right? So, anyway, the storyline is that presumably Mario invites a bunch of people from the recent Mario Kart 64 that happened 2 years prior for like some sort of like reunion or picnic or something. It would work as a reunion. It would work as a 2-year reunion because in the West, at least, the game came out almost 2 years to the same week that Mario Kart 64 came out. So kind of works in that regard. Maybe they were just having a reunion picnic or something. Like, it's been 2 years since Donkey Kong just kicked all of our asses in every single cup in Mario Kart 64. Let's have a picnic. In my head, Malik, in my head. You don't have to.
I like to think of it. I think of it as like an intervention. I don't know who they're singling out, but it just reminds me of like I think you all know why we're here today.
I would hope it would be Mario's own intervention. Like he's like
Mario is taking this too seriously now.
It turns out
stop with the car
turns
racing.
out he's diabetic, but he will not get Peach to stop baking him those cakes. Yeah, so Donkey Kong, because he comes first, even though the game is called Mario Party, he comes first, Malik. Donkey Kong, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and Wario. They're all in this like meadow, right? In the Mushroom Kingdom or the Mushroom World, and they start arguing about who the bigger star is. Like, who the superstar among them is. What a weird, stupid argument. Do famous people routinely get together and just, like, have the bitchiest arguments about who is the most famous? Like, do George Clooney and, like, I don't know, Matt Damon and Julia Roberts, and do they all, like, get
who's
together?
Got the most roles on IMDb or whatever? Who's got the highest grossing income?
Like, oh, no, I'm the best. I'm the superstar. Like, are these like the stupid ass Scientology parties, or maybe not Scientology so much anymore? They're having trouble attracting new members. But like, is this what happens behind the scenes at the Golden Globes? Just like, no, I'm the superstar. No, I'm the superstar. We need to settle this with Candyland. That's what we need to do. Like,
just
I don't know,
some snakes and ladders behind the scenes.
Chris Evans comes out and he's like, "Oh no, we all need to settle this by playing Chutes and Ladders." I don't know why Chris Evans is Toad. It just seems like seems like a generally affable guy, and he would be the Toad. He would be the peacemaker in the situation.
More like generally laughable, am I right?
So, yeah, Toad, who was also a playable character in Mario Kart 64, he comes running out and he's like, "Mommy, Daddy, stop fighting, please, you're upsetting me." I refuse to have any part in this argument because I'm Toad. I clearly suck. I am not a superstar in any way. But out of you 6, we can settle this. But you have to just give me a moment. I'm going to set something up for you. And so Toad, I guess on the fly, comes up with this whole notion of what would eventually in universe become known as Mario Party, which would be the branding. I believe it was Mario Party 3 maybe that first established that in universe it was branded as Mario Party, like these life-size board games that they play, because I think at that point, like, it was established that they had patented it and were selling it as a board game in the Mushroom Kingdom called Mario Party, because that's what the Millennium Star brought to life in Mario Party 3. And then by Mario Party 4, like, Toad and a bunch of other investors have built the Party Cube, which is like a holodeck to experience Mario Party as a virtual reality simulation for all of the citizens of the Mushroom World. But that's down the road. That's down the road a bit. I've thought way too much about Mario Party lore, I just realized. It's upsetting me how much I've considered this from all angles. You know how people will take, like, classic film or literature and really just find ways to analyze it and study it. I mean, the first true fandom, I think, was Sherlock Holmes fandom. You know,
oh yeah,
the Baker Street Irregulars or whatever they call themselves. And here I am, a man in his 30s, a man who can no longer eat pizza without severely paying for it later on. A man who's sitting here just pondering the way Mario Party has built upon itself in universe over the years, as my life has become a train wreck. I'm not even getting paid with YouTube for this anymore. I'm
not judging you.
Yeah, you should be.
So you're
Somebody
among
needs
friends.
to judge me. I need an intervention. I need all of these people I once go-karted with to surround me in a meadow and say, "No, Hyle, this needs to stop. You need to get
You're
a
the
real
superstar,
job."
Hyle. You're the superstar of the real world. And I genuinely mean that. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not trying to be mean. You are a superstar.
I'm not even the Toad, Malik. I would be somebody like in a later Mario Party game like Wiggler. Like somebody who doesn't even like matter. Just was Wiggler even playable in Mario? I don't even care. I don't even know.
Goomba.
Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna hold it against Goomba, but yeah. Anyway, so it's worth. Yeah, this is a pseudo sequel to Mario Kart 64, where they literally argue about who the bigger star out of all of them was, possibly stemming out of the in-universe events from Mario Kart 64, which I assume brought them some fame beyond. I mean, Mario and Peach, were already famous in this world, but I presume like Wario got a taste of fame with Mario Kart 64, and
Maybe a bit with Wario Land 3. I mean, Super Mario Land 3.
Yeah,
if that counts.
I mean, Donkey Kong, the modern Donkey Kong, you could say, like, that's really where he became well-known in the Mushroom world, was Mario Kart 64. But because that it is established now, canonically, that they are separate dimensions. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Donkey Kong Adventure. But
who would have thought?
Yeah, so anyway, despite this, Toad is not playable because Toad is the peacemaker. He is the host on all of the boards. He sells you those stars. And Bowser is not playable because Bowser serves a role as an antagonist in the game. And he continues to serve that role throughout the Mario Party series, but really in this first game, he's actually like built up as like the big kind of boss, where in later Mario Party games, he's more of just the spoiler on the boards. He's still a spoiler on the boards here, but you really feel like you're building up to Bowser's defeat in this game, which you kind of lose in later Mario Parties. I mean, later Mario Parties kind of lose all of the weight and like pomp and circumstance of this game. This game is just kind of it felt more consequential at the time because it was the first Mario Party, and later Mario Parties just got so stupid, as plot-wise at least. But this game also introduced another new character to the Mario canon, and that is Baby Bowser. Now,
oh boy.
Now, so this whole thing, Malik.
Oh yeah, I know about Baby Bowser.
Now, when I say Baby Bowser, Malik, I'm not talking about the young Bowser from off of the Yoshi's Island games. Not
the exact same name,
exact same name, but not that Baby Bowser. I'm also not referring to Bowser Jr., who at this point wasn't even a character. He first debuted in 2002. Super Mario Sunshine was his first game. I'm not talking about Bowser Jr. I'm also not talking about the 7 Koopalings or Koopa Kids or whatever you want to refer to them as from Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World, and then modern Mario platformers. I'm not referring to them either. No, I'm referring to Bowser's other children.
His weekend sons.
The baby Bowsers. Now, for clarity's sake, they would later be changed in name to the Koopa Kids starting in Mario Party 4. And I always like that because in my mind, they aged several years. So they were no longer babies. They were now children. Ergo, they got promoted to Koopa Kid. But there are at least 7 of them because I counted them in this game. There have to be at least 7 different Baby Bowsers in this game, unless 6 are holograms. But
it's possible.
7 in all. But there is one main one, and in later Mario Party games, that would be the only one who would appear. In fact, he would later split himself into different entities. Like Superman once split himself between a red version and a blue version. So too did Koopa Kid in the GameCube era. He would start splitting himself, and they would kind of ignore that there were 6 other identical Koopa Kids that looked like him. But, so the implication here for Baby Bowser, which was a new character or characters created by Hudson Soft, was that they were Bowser's children. So, of course, it got complicated later on with Super Mario Sunshine when Miyamoto decided he wanted to introduce Bowser Jr., who was a completely different character, different design, and this eventually led to the Nintendo ignoring the Baby Bowser / Koopa Kids from Mario Party, and eventually Bowser Jr. would just full-on replace them in much later entries in the Mario Party series. But they held on for a surprisingly long time. And,
like Mario Party 7, last one.
Yeah, I mean, considering, that was the mid-aughts, and Bowser Jr. was kind of everywhere then, along with Petey Piranha and King Boo and those other newbies from the GameCube era. But yeah, they're completely ignored by Nintendo today, and I think there's been heavy retconning on Nintendo's part to say that the original 7 Koopalings or Koopa Kids from Super Mario Bros. 3 are not Bowser's children. And
Miyamoto is Bowser Jr.'s mother.
Yeah, that whole thing. And the Koopa Kids in the Mario Party series, aka Baby Bowsers, are just minions of Bowser as well. But I don't like the retconning because it makes me feel bad, Malik. It makes me feel bad when somebody comes along and says, actually, you're not actually the real children of this father figure. And whether or not they're biologically related or not, they're clearly the children of Bowser. So
yeah, we haven't seen anything like Bowser in the Mushroom Kingdom. Nothing quite looks like Bowser. So where did they come from?
Exactly.
If they're not his own spawn.
Right, so I do believe they're his biological children, just because I believe Bowser is this really gross dude who beds lots of women and never has safe sex. He just goes at it, and he's kind of like Henry VIII. He wanted a male heir, and then he got a male heir, and then he got another male heir, and then he got another male heir.
He got so many that he didn't know where to start.
I mean,
okay, you're Bowser Jr. You guys are here, but where did I start again? Which kid is the first?
If we're to accept, Malik, that these 7 Baby Bowsers are his children, that he has all in all 15 kids at least.
16.
16. What? There's
Wait.
7 Koopalings, right?
Oh crap! I thought there were 8 Koopalings.
Well, there's 8 when you factor in Bowser Jr.
Okay, I kind of separate him from the Koopalings. So there's 8. There's 7. There's 7. What
seven,
are they? There's 7
plus
Koopa
7
Kids.
plus 1.
There's 7 Koopa Kids. 7 Koopa Kids. 7 Koopalings, and then there's Bowser Jr. So that's 15 children that we know of. But
plus, there's his younger self that
promiscuous.
occasionally. There's his younger self too that occasionally comes into play. So 16 little Bowsers running around the Mario universe. Yeah.
I'm sure there's more because reptiles are promiscuous and they have a lot of babies. So
look at Tip Top.
I would be willing to believe there's more. Yeah, Tip Top has like 99 children.
yeah, 99 problems, but they're all children. So
I was thinking of something that's good. That's good. I like that.
If Nick can't say that word, neither can I. So, anyway.
I see that in the notes, so that's what I'm glad that came into play.
Yeah, I let Malik see the conversation notes in full, and he's probably confused by all of these notations. Why, what, Nick can't say that? What?
Excuse me? What did he do?
We have to keep continuity very straight here on the conversation, Malik.
I understand that.
Just like Hudson Soft had to keep continuity very straight in the Mario Party series. Nintendo didn't care so much about the continuity established in Mario Party, but one of the reasons I really do love the original Mario Party to this day, despite all the issues I would have with the Mario Party series throughout the years, only recently rectified with Super Mario Party for the Switch, which, if you listen to that episode last season, you'll discover that I was pleasantly surprised by that game. I actually like that quite a bit. But the thing I like about the original Mario Party was how much lore and world building it accomplishes in a stupid party game with Mario cast members. There is a heavy amount of things that were established in this game that were slowly lost over the years. But I really like how you use the word promiscuous referring to Bowser. Or maybe I referred to that. I don't know.
No, that was me.
That was you. Me. Okay. I can't remember.
Okay.
I'm pretty deep in this Angry Orchard now, and it's starting to make my head all fuzzy.
Who's hallucinating now?
No, sorry. I've been smoking the maple leaf, and I'm seeing things.
Of course. That's what they're known for.
I'm seeing 7 baby Bowsers in this game. That can't be right. So, yeah. But
was it baby Bowsers or baby Bowsers?
I'm
sorry.
Bowser.
Continue.
that turns out that is the correct plural. So Hudson Soft really got fast and loose with Mario lore, but not in a bad way. Like, they really tried to add their own touch to it, and I don't think it was really appreciated much by Nintendo over the years, but I appreciate it, and I hold it as canon because it happened. I played the game. I own it. I've seen it with my own eyes, Malik, so all this stuff
You're not
matters.
hallucinating there.
So the main setting of Mario Party is the little town of Mushroom Village, which serves as kind of a main hub world, kind of a map screen, where you get to pick your different the different places you can go. And really, really cool the way they did this. It's all from a first-person perspective, something that the Mario Party series would continue down the line up until the present day. So theoretically, you could pretend to be any character you want in these portions of the game. I always pretended I was Donkey Kong, and I was seeing everything from Donkey Kong's perspective. So Mushroom Village is the hub, and from Mushroom Village, you can select wherever you want to go as far as game modes. And each game mode is represented by a different location or building in Mushroom Village. Really immersive, really kind of just made you feel like you were in this living, breathing slice of Mario's world. And that's something that you really don't get a lot, even in the 2D Mario platformers. World building is not always the first priority in a Mario game. I'm not counting things like Odyssey. Of course, in Odyssey, that's different. But I'm thinking the new Super Mario Brothers games, where it's just a glorified obstacle course. And yeah, I mean, there are thematic elements that keep springing up, but by and large, it's
there's
just
apples, there's squirrels, there's the occasional Yoshi here and there.
The music.
It doesn't really. It's not like Mario Party or, like you said, Odyssey.
The music
takes its time.
The music always goes bop bop, and then the characters do.
That was nice 10 years ago, but if I hear it one more time, I think I'm gonna kill myself.
Right. So yeah, this really, really made you feel like you were there in Mushroom Village. In my fanon, I always believe that Mushroom Village is where Toad is from, and that's why Toad ran to Mushroom Village and set all of this up via Mushroom Village. It's because that's where Toad's from. I don't know. I like that little bit of backstory in my head. I don't care if it's not accurate or true, or if it's been contradicted at some point in some Mario game that I've never played. I like that. Mushroom Village. Now, the main action, to get to the boards of Mario Party, you gotta go through the warp pipe. Malik. And this warp pipe in the center of Mushroom Village is very important for DK Vine fanon. And how Donkey
I know
Kong
where you're going with
connects
this.
to Mario. Yeah. So it's now canonically established fact that Donkey Kong Island is in a separate dimension from the Mushroom Kingdom. Ergo, the whole Rare Archipelago is in its own dimension. The Mushroom Kingdom is in another dimension. So, because there is a board in Mario Party that takes place on Donkey Kong Island, and it's reached via this warp pipe, it is my personal belief, as well as the stance of DK Vine, the website, that this warp pipe is how characters from Mario games can get to Donkey Kong Island and vice versa. So this is the trans-dimensional warp pipe between the Mushroom World and the Rare Archipelago.
I mean, I believe it. It's pretty logical.
It makes sense, right? So, but I mean, this is where my train of thought was back in 1999, even before 19 years later, when this would become established fact within the world, the video game world itself, that they were separate dimensions. This is the bullshit I was screaming at my TV when nobody was paying attention to me, when I didn't have a podcast, when I didn't have a website. I was just a crazy man shouting at my friend Elliot about trans-dimensional warp pipes.
It finally paid off, though.
Yeah, but is it any wonder that he and I don't talk anymore? That we fell out of touch?
Well, it's not your fault. He just didn't want to see it your way. And your way was the right way this whole time.
I think he did a good job of humoring me back then, but he was like, this doesn't matter. I don't really care about how these worlds line up. In fact, I don't even want to be playing Mario Party, but you're forcing me at gunpoint. Metaphorical gunpoint, of course.
Are you sure? That's...
I don't know. I might have blocked that part of my memories out. It's hard to say. But yeah, the warp pipe. So the warp pipe, and we'll get into DK's Jungle Adventure here, the Donkey Kong board. But yeah, the warp pipe shoots you out there if you're going to Donkey Kong Island, and that's where the characters from Donkey Kong Island go to when they want to get to the Mushroom Kingdom. So anyway, this trans-dimensional warp pipe is in Mushroom Village, but there are also other establishments in Mushroom Village that serve numerous roles. Like I said, every option or way you want to play Mario Party can be found in Mushroom Village, and it's all laid out very visually for you. I really, really like the way they lay this out. It's much better than just an options menu. And it actually made Smash Brothers, which came out in the West a couple months after this, kind of feel pathetic in comparison. Because, Smash Brothers is very menu heavy. It's very, very menu heavy. And Mario Party was very, immersive and visually inventive, at least in the way they did this, and Smash Brothers was just we're gonna have text on a menu, and I'm not
and no music in the background, just tiny little. I like the little sound they have in the original Smash menu, but it's it does not scream anything to me. So here's a menu.
Yeah, I'm not disparaging that. It's obviously worked very well for Smash Brothers, much better than it did for Mario Party and its method. But I'm just very appreciative of how Mario Party did this. So, in Mushroom Village, we're going to go through each house of the Mushroom Village and each character, shopkeeper that runs this house. And I think the reason I have such great affinity for this is I'm a guy who was weaned on Rare. I sucked the supple teats of Rare, of Greg Males, and he nursed me with his milk. And
lactose-free, I hope.
Well, back then I could process lactose. When you're younger, you can process lactose, Malik. It's when you get older that your body's ability to break down lactose starts to diminish. Because when you're an adult, why would you need milk? We as human beings should not be drinking cow milk, especially when we're adults, and milk is just not necessary for our diets. Milk serves a very particular function, and that is to make babies strong.
But it's an excellent source of vitamin D.
You can get vitamin D from lots of things. You can get it from the sun.
But it's cold out here. There is no sun.
Milk
you
is
just have
cold,
like
too.
3 feet of snow.
Milk
But
is
it's
cold, too,
good.
and it upsets my tummy. So I don't want
It's
to
like
drink
you
milk.
can drink milk. You can drink milk. You can't drink snow and get some calcium and vitamin A and D. But I get where you're coming from. But
Yeah, right.
milk has its perks. Anyway, you were suckling on the teat of Rare, right?
I was suckling
Greg
on
Mayles.
suckling on Greg Mayles' teat, and so Greg Mayles likes to
Lovely.
display. Greg Mayles' design philosophy is very visual as well, and it's very much like we don't want to bombard the gamer with text. We don't want menus. We don't want we want them to really feel like this world is vibrant and real, and that also extends to how certain functions are performed with characters. That is why there are all the Kong family members on the map screen. They all serve a function, and it is the same way in Mario Party. So there was a lot of simpatico design philosophy with the original Mario Party and Donkey Kong Country, which is probably why I have such an affinity for this, especially all of the denizens of Mushroom Village, because rather than just have, like, say, options, there is a character that runs the option house. It's catnip to me, Malik. This is the crazy bullshit I get off on. And
I love this stuff too, Hyle. It's not just you.
because you have actually never played the original Mario Party, you were invited on...
let's the cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah, so you were...
Should I explain myself?
The cat's out of the bag, and it's going to
Yeah.
steal the catnip I'm feasting off of. So, yeah, the reason I invited you on this episode was because you just compiled that the Secrets of Mario Party Did You Know Gaming episode. But you have not actually played the original Mario Party. So, because you don't know what I'm rambling about, I have provided you with images of all the stuff I'm about to talk about.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, so when I'm talking about these characters, you can at least comment on their visual appearance. So,
Okay, so should I talk about this mushroom fellow here? Have
Yeah.
we gotten to him just yet?
not her, actually.
Oh,
you're
I'm sorry.
misgendering her, Malik. We can't do that.
crud.
We can't do that.
Not
It's
after what the
2019.
Donkey Kong thing, especially after the Donkey Kong thing we just did.
Donkey Kong is a big trans rights icon now, so please don't misgender people. It's not
Right,
cool.
right.
I won't allow it on the Kongversation. We're gonna save the world, Malik. We got to do it, and we got to start right now. Episode 701 of the Kongversation in this Mario Party discussion. So, Puff.
Right.
Puff the mushroom person runs the minigame house. Apparently, it was legal way back when in Mushroom Village, even 19 years before it was legal in Canada.
That sounds like a mini game. Just that title, Puff the Mushroom Person.
Well, okay, so I'm going to be using the term mushroom person to describe these characters because here's the thing, Malik.
Mm-hmm.
This predates Nintendo's ignorant and I think ugly mandate that all mushroom people are called toads.
Right.
No. So, if they're all called toads, Malik, then how do all of these mushroom people have different names?
It's not like a human race kind of thing, right? Where there's all people, but they all have different names.
Well, that's the way it originally was, and then all of a sudden, when the new Super Mario Brothers games came out, it's like, oh, we have a blue toad and a yellow toad. They're all toads. It's just like Yoshi and every other Mario species. They're all just called blank. Koopa Troopa.
So this is more like Acorn People, but like a couple months before.
Yeah, right?
Would you say?
1999 was the year of weirdo forest growth taking anthropomorphic form. I tell you what, that's what 1999 is most known for. Everybody else is worried about Y2K, but I knew it was going to be okay because we had mushroom people and acorn people side by side on my video game shelf, and they were going to let me know, like, we're going to get in this new millennium together, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. So, yeah, Puff the Mushroom Person, not Puff the Toad, Puff the mushroom person. Sounds like a really shitty 60s folk song. Puff the mushroom person runs the mushroom shop. Minigame house. Sorry. Yeah.
You're killing me, Hyle.
Yeah. I'm killing myself too with my liver.
Save the rest of the Angry Orchard for after we're done. Then.
I'm almost done with Angry Orchard. And I because of YouTube, I can't afford anymore.
Now it's just angry.
I'm gonna have to be like eating mushrooms. I'm gonna have to scavenge for mushrooms in the forest and subside off of them. And
just don't eat the poison ones.
Well, I'm gonna be weeping the whole time. I'm gonna be like, Puff, I'm sorry, Puff. Oh, Pierre the mushroom person. I'm sorry, I swallowed you. I had no choice. It was either you or me.
Survival of the fittest.
Puff runs the minigame house, not the mushroom shop, like I just erroneously sang. In the minigame house, you can play minigames you have unlocked throughout the game as standalone experiences. An option that Mario Party would keep pretty much throughout the whole run of the series, but this is the only time Puff the mushroom person appeared. Ergo, this is the best way to experience this feature. So Puff is kind of this oracle, this fortune teller, this soothsayer, or soothseer. Wow. One of those two. Maybe Sooth-Healer. Maybe Sooth-Feeler. I don't really know. She's soothy, though. And she will warp you via her crystal ball to the minigame on Minigame Island. And, yeah, she's this elderly mushroom person who's like just this old, wizened fortune reader. And, I don't know. I love the visual diversity of the mushroom people in this game. This is before they were all just toads with different colored heads. This is when the sky was the limit. Like you had Square in Super Mario RPG who introduced a plethora of mushroom people, and now you had Hudson 3 years later doing this with Mario Party. So much
Intelligent Systems did it with the Paper Mario series, both on N64 and on GameCube with the 1,000-Year Door. There's so many toads with so many different personalities.
So many mushroom people.
Mushroom people. Sorry, I said I was going to stop that.
But the problem, I would hold up the Paper Mario series as like proof, but unfortunately, it's been retconned that that's a separate universe now from the mainline Mario games.
We don't have to accept that.
Well, I mean, they teamed up. Paper Mario teamed up with other Mario and Luigi.
Crap.
So, yeah.
That's right.
So
fine.
So anyway, in the minigame house, it's also home to the character Mecha Fly Guy. And Mecha Fly Guy is a fly guy, a shy guy with a propeller that you can buy from the mushroom shop, hence the confusion in my song. And this is just a pointless little diversion you can do where you can rotate the control stick and Mecha Fly Guy will count the amount of times you rotated the control stick and then will fly around based on that. This game really liked you to rotate that N64 controller stick to the detriment of your health. And, of course, we'll discuss that infamous black mark against this game in just a little bit. But, yeah, this was tug of war is what's remembered, but Mecha Fly Guy also caused some strain on my right hand. And I'm looking at it right now, Malik. I do still have a very, very faint scar. If you look at the wrinkles, the lines in my hand, you can see what looks like a circle in the middle of my palm where the N64 analog stick once bore into my flesh.
I can't believe that. You're one of the survivors.
Yeah, but have I survived? Like, what will be the detriment to my health years from now? Maybe the whole reason I can't digest pizza was because of the damage my right hand took in 1999. I don't know. The studies haven't come out yet. It's not conclusive what the correlation is between furiously rotating your control stick, not a euphemism, and digesting lactose and acidic tomatoes. We don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't think medication has gotten... No. Current medication has not figured that out yet.
Look, I would invest...
Might take like 30 years.
I would invest the money myself in these studies, but unfortunately, I have none to invest.
Because of YouTube.
Because of YouTube, right. So, thanks, YouTube. Now, I could help so many gamers who had an N64 and Mario Party and now have violent bowel movements whenever they eat cheese or tomatoes. And I could really help them out, but because of you, all the money has to go to PewDiePie and Logan Paul, we'll never know.
Then what of their children who play Mario Party alongside them?
Do they have children? That would really upset me if they have children. So
They might.
Speaking of the Mushroom Shop, let's talk about the Mushroom Shop. And I realize most of the spotlight is just going to be talking about these freaky-ass mushroom characters, and I don't care. This is what I want to do with my life. This is the Kongversation. Fuck it. I don't... Whatever. I'm not going to be talking about Peach's birthday cake or whatever the hell that board is. I don't care. The Mushroom Shop is run by a nameless mushroom person. Nameless in the game, but DK Vine, thankfully, gave him a fanon name in 1999. Well, actually, I gave him a fanon name before DK Vine, but then I went to Chad and I was like, this is what we're calling this character, and he said, okay. So, Super Mario Wiki will not acknowledge this fanon, nor should they, because we are friendly with Mario Wiki now. We are allies. We are brothers and sisters in arms. But yeah, they will not acknowledge that DK Vine calls this character, this tall, skinny, yellow mushroom person, they will not acknowledge that we call him Pierre. What? Because he looks a little French, Malik.
Is it because of the curly hair? The
curly hair. And
is that a mustache or a frowny face I see?
I think it's supposed to be a mustache, but it looked like he had the little French mustache and the curly hair. So to me, he looked like a Pierre. And I said, hey, Elliot, we're going to call him Pierre. And then a few months later, I was like, hey, Chad, we're going to call him Pierre. And so Pierre, the mushroom person. I think I still wanted a pound of flesh from the Assault of the Donkey Kong Country cartoon. What was that? Had I even seen it yet in '99, or is that? Yeah. I did.
Yeah. On behalf of the Canadians responsible, I can only say sorry.
No, I'm over it, Malik. Back then I was angry that there was a Donkey Kong Country cartoon show that didn't have Rambi in it, that couldn't pronounce King K. Rool, that turned the claptraps into blobs of energy fired from a gun, that swapped out Swanky for Bluster Kong, Congo Bongo. I'm obviously I'm still not over it because I'm getting, my blood pressure is rising right now, but
I can feel it even from here.
I know, right? This that's why I say, like, I might not even make it to old age. Like, the sheer anger I feel doing this podcast. What can I say?
It's okay.
If I die, right. Like, if I don't make it to old age, I want you to know that it was Bluster Kong that killed me. I don't care. I don't care what it says on my death certificate. Automobile accident, assassination, falling off a mountain. I don't care. Bluster was somehow responsible. I got distracted by Bluster Kong. The assassin was aiming for Bluster Kong and hit me instead. It's Bluster Kong's fault. Let it be on the record now.
It'll just say, cause of death, a flamboyant gorilla.
Yeah. And the thing is, if Bluster Kong was introduced in the games, I would be okay with it. But
isn't that what you said about Eddie the Mean Old Yeti?
Yeah, but the thing is, I hate them because they're not canon. But if they're made canon, that's fine.
Watch it happen and you just get even angrier.
But yeah, Pierre is essentially the mushroom person equivalent of Bluster Kong. And he sells you items that you can use in board game play or in the other shops and buildings. I also want to bring to the attention, because this is something that interests me so much. And it's not really discussed ever, because nobody ever discusses the mushroom shop from off of Mario Party. The implications for this, though, are massive. There's a wanted poster in the shop, in the mushroom shop, that suggests that Bowser is wanted by the authorities of the Mushroom Kingdom. And if he's wanted, he might have actually escaped police custody, aka prison. So, one of my biggest issues with the Mario series is that Bowser commits this act of war by kidnapping the princess of the Mushroom Kingdom. It's one like royal country basically invading the other, and there are no consequences at all. It's more like a slap on the wrist. It's like, oh, Mario might knock him into some lava, but of course he might have all of his flesh burned off, but he comes back, and they just let him come back. There's no cause and effect there, and it strains credibility for me. It's really like with K. Rool and the Kremlings versus the Kongs, there's consequence. There's the accidental genocide of the Kremling race.
It happens.
K. Rool gets stuck in a giant egg for several months. You know, there are consequences there. Bowser, I just feel like they're like, oh, Bowser, you scamp.
Watch what you do, you little scoundrel.
You tried to
put you back in there again.
You tried to marry this woman against her will yet again. Oh, rascal.
Maybe it has something to do with all the children he's had over the years. Maybe that's what it is.
What, he actually desires a human heir? He's like Kurt Russell from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and he's just trying to get like the right genetic mix, but he keeps failing because he just keeps getting turtle children. Yeah, okay.
At least he can turn into David Hasselhoff whenever he wants.
Yeah, that is true. At least he has also got a very nice penis. I hear that about Bowser and Kurt Russell.
I'm not touching that one.
Well, the shell would probably keep you. I don't know. Do turtle penises? I guess turtle penises can. How do they come out of the shell?
I'm pretty. You know what? Do you want to look that up?
Let's take it to the live stream chat. Live stream. Where do turtle penises poke out of, and how does that work? Let me know in the live stream chat. Live stream. Okay, they're not saying anything, but we're going to check in with the live stream chat later about turtle penises. This is very important. Anyway, so the wanted poster to me implies that there is this unseen, no pun intended, tug-of-war between the Mushroom Kingdom authorities and the Koopa Troop, where maybe Bowser is taken into custody, maybe Bowser is jailed, maybe there are like military tribunals, but he always escapes from this, or he always gets off on a technicality or something. And maybe prior to the events of Mario Party, Bowser broke out of prison, and that's why he's this big antagonistic force throughout Mario Party. It's like, oh shit, Bowser's broken out of prison, and now he's invading our board game to settle who is the biggest celebrity among the Mario Kart 64 cast. And maybe Bowser is just upset that he wasn't invited because he was part of that cast too. Maybe that was prison release. You know, maybe like, okay, Bowser can compete. We'll release him from prison. And that's what he'll do that week instead of picking up trash by the side of the road.
Sort of like Mario Strikers, where you got most of the main cast, except Bowser. Bowser only shows up as a hazard every now and again, and I just figure, yeah, he just wasn't invited to this party, and he's really ticked off about it.
Yeah, or, you know, maybe he was still in prison and they wouldn't let him play. Like, maybe it all depends on what the warden is feeling like that day. I like this implication, though, because it actually makes the Mario universe feel more logical, and it makes it feel weightier than the platforming games, especially the 2D platforming games, imply. Like, it makes me want... This reminds me of the Mario world as seen in the Deke cartoon shows, where it felt like there was more going on than just... Mario runs in a straight line and collects some coins and rescues the princess until the next month when it all happens again. Like, I get off on world building, Malik, as I already said. And Yeah, this is world building. This is a little subtle touch that really just fires those brain thoughts and it makes you think. Well, maybe then this is the reason this happened, and maybe that's the reason that happened. It's what the Donkey Kong series is full of, and it's why I prefer the Donkey Kong series to Mario. But if the Mario series really like went all in on stuff like this, then maybe I would have never fallen out of love with the Mario series way back when.
Yeah. I mean, they used to do that back in like the early 90s. Like, I'll tell you, I've been playing a Donkey Kong 94 for the first time on my 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
And Mario just has such a personality.
He's dick
so
in
great.
that game. From my perspective, because you don't see all the shit he does just off screen to provoke the Kongs into taking action like that.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what could have happened behind the scenes. I've also found out where the turtle genitalia is, if you want to know.
Oh.
They are located in... Hold on. They are internal organs located inside the tail.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's disappointing. I was hoping it wasn't in the turtle tail. I was like hoping there was a whole separate turtle tail, if you know what I mean. That would yeah. Anyway, all right. So
where were we?
Let's move on to the Mushroom Bank. The Mushroom Bank is where all coins and stars go after you collect them in board game play, and you can also store items bought in the Mushroom Shop here before you're ready to use them in gameplay. And the Mushroom Bank is run by two mushroom people who are virtually identical, save for what they've got going on their mushroom heads. And I think they're like, they've got special adornments on their mushroom caps, where it's maybe like the equivalent to hair dye for us. Because these are in no way natural mushroom heads. There's one with a star on it, and there's one with a coin on it. So I imagine like maybe they've wrapped their mushroom head with this, or they've dyed it to look like this. But anyway, these are two mushroom people, and the one on the left was established in-game as Porto. His name is Porto. The one on the right, though, who handles your finances, the one on the left is the one who handles the items. The one on your right actually handles the finances. He's the bank teller. He went, I believe, unnamed in the game. Now, Super Mario Wiki claims he's called Bello. Porto Bello. But that would make sense for that awful pun that doesn't even really work as a pun. But I in no way discovered that name throughout the course of Mario Party gameplay. So maybe it's like found in the game's data. I don't really know, but it's never spoken aloud. And because of that, I gave him the fanon name of Corto, like quarter, but Corto, because he's a banker and he handles your finances. Porto and Corto. This is all stupid. This is all stupid nonsense, and it doesn't matter. And I don't know why I'm boring our podcast audience with it. Hey, in 1999, I gave this fictional mushroom man-child a name, and then this Mario Wikipedia run by fans says it's this other name, but I don't know where they got that from, and they don't cite their sources.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. When I was looking up stuff on the Mario Wiki for the Did You Know Gaming for Mario Party, there were some things just like, where is the citation for this?
I'm not a nightmare in and of itself. Look, I'm not slagging off on Mario Wiki. You know, the whole bear animosity is in the past. Just like my hatred for Bluster Bear will be in the past as soon as he becomes canon. But really, before they make him canon, they've got to bring back Swanky and the Brothers Bear and so many characters before they even get around
Winky.
to Yeah. I mean, Swanky came back as a spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Spoilers.
That's
but,
true.
You know, it's not... You know what I mean. You know what I mean, Malik.
Have you gotten too far in World of Light just yet? You're still making your way through there?
No spoilers, please.
No spoilers. I won't say a word.
All right. There's the Option House then, and the Option House is run by my favorite character out of these mushroom people, Fun Gus.
Fun Gus. Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. His name is fun.
Oh, look at this guy. He looks so cool.
Yeah, he's got earrings, even though he's got no ears, which means his head was just pierced, and I love that. I love the dedication. Like, I want earrings, but I don't have ears. But just put holes in the side of my head. I don't really care. Yeah, Fun Gus. He looks like kind of like this. I don't know. He's just this cool kind of.
Just a cool guy.
Yeah. I think
he looks like a fun guy.
I think he might have a shark tooth necklace, but like Crocodile Dundee, not like Banjo and the one shark tooth, but like, well, Crocodile Dundee, I guess, has crocodile teeth around his neck, but yeah, that's what Fun Gus looks like he has. So Fun Gus runs the option house. This is where you can delete your saved data, control like the volume and stuff. But it's also home to another character, one of my second favorite character, original to this game, and that is the Talking Parrot. So the Talking Parrot is a character you can buy from the Mushroom Shop, and all the Talking Parrot does is the Talking Parrot will play back all of the characters' voices for you from the game. So you know how in like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate you can hear all of the character voices and sound effects in a menu. Yeah. Here, the Talking Parrot will just do it for you, and so the Talking Parrot is literally, there's an in-universe reason why you're hearing this, and it's through this parrot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great, and I love the Talking Parrot. For no reason whatsoever, I would just occasionally come visit Fun Gus and just listen to the Talking Parrot. There'd be no practical reason for it, but just that level of detail was so appreciated. And there's no reason this is a character, but it's a character, and that made me really endeared to what this game was selling. So, and of course, I love green parrots. So I like that Donkey Kong could interact with the green parrot well before the cameo games would ever acknowledge his own animal buddies.
Oh, so that's really cool.
Let's get to the boards, Malik. The boards of Mario Party. And so there are 2 boards with 1-star difficulty, 3 boards with 2-star difficulty, and 3 boards with 3-star difficulty. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how accurate the difficulty rankings are. I think it's how complex the boards can get rather than any actual difficulty in gameplay, because of course if you're playing against the CPU you can choose between, I believe, was it easy, medium, and hard, or was it was very easy and or was it easy, medium, hard, and very hard? Because I always get confused with Smash Brothers and Mario Party's difficulty rankings. But yeah, whatever. There are different difficulty rankings, and to beat Mario Party, I had to beat the CPU on every board in every difficulty ranking, and I would do 50 turn rounds, Malik. So,
oh man, how long did that take you?
Like, I had a lot of time in 1999, apparently. But I did it. I did it, and I never got too fatigued with Mario Party. I guess it's not a surprise then that the later Mario Party games would break my soul, and my soul is still pretty dead on the inside, and I blame that mostly due to later Mario Party sequels. But 1-star difficulty, the first board you can, you really play in the game if you go in order, is DK's Jungle Adventure. And DK's Jungle Adventure, presumably it takes place on Donkey Kong Island. They never come out and say, hey, this board takes place on Donkey Kong Island, but it's DK's Jungle Adventure. There's nothing to say it doesn't take place on Donkey Kong Island, and it's full of barrels and various...
Bananas, I see some bananas.
Yeah. So... the lore of DK's Jungle Adventure, though, is actually pretty cool when you factor in what would come later in the year. So, in my headcanon, DK's Jungle Adventure takes place on the outskirts of the Congo jungle, and it takes place in the ruins of what would later be established by games like Donkey Kong Country Returns as the ruins of the ancient Kongs. These aren't the Kremlin temple ruins. These are the Kong temple ruins. And this is where Donkey Kong first developed a Goldfinger for the golden bananas seen in Donkey Kong.
Did you write that yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For the golden bananas seen in Donkey Kong 64. Because in each board of the original Mario Party, there's a certain objective you've got to, like, you're playing to win the board, but then when you win the board, your character then achieves this like made up objective that doesn't influence the rest of the game, but it's like, oh, okay, I accomplished this goal on this board. And in DK's Jungle Adventure, the goal is to find the treasure, the hidden jungle treasure. And apparently it was a lot easier than finding the missing episode of the Kongversation Season 6. Because it did not take me half a month.
Well, I haven't tried either, so I can't really say from experience.
But, yeah, but you can easily find where it is, Malik. You were a co-host. I'll just leave it at that.
I'll ask you after this, because I'm not even eligible to try that.
That is true, yeah.
I'll just ask you after this is all done. No one needs to hear.
And then people are going to kidnap you and interrogate you and waterboard you, Malik. I don't know if I should give you that knowledge. So officially, I'm saying I'm not giving you that knowledge. Whether or not I actually give it to you will be a secret just between you and I.
I can hear you winking. I can actually hear you winking at me.
Yeah, no, that's actually the my dried out contacts, because I can't afford new contacts now either. So I'm having to reuse. Like I've got the monthly contacts, and oh man, so it's a month and a half now, and they're drying out. But I've got to make my contacts last.
Someone support the Patreon, please.
I'm falling apart over here. So yeah, the treasure you get, the treasure you uncover in these ancient Kong-based ruins of what we would later find out was the Tiki Tak tribe. I'm not saying Hudson Soft developed any of this, but I'm just connecting the dots here, Malik.
That's okay.
The treasure you get, golden bananas.
Really?
Yeah. So this was.
Do they straight up say golden bananas?
Mm-hmm. And you actually see it. You actually see a bunch of golden bananas. And later in 1999, what does Donkey Kong now have? He has a brand new horde of golden bananas. Where did he get those golden bananas, Malik? He got them in DK's Jungle Adventure in Mario Party earlier that year. This, and I don't believe Hudson Soft came, like, this wasn't like Rare and Hudson Soft working in tandem. Rare had no say in Mario Party. They did the 3D model of Donkey Kong and Mario Kart 64, but this is the first game where Rare had no creative control or any finger in the pie of the modern Donkey Kong that they had a hand in creating. So,
right.
So I'm not saying that there was actually any correlation that Rare said, hey, in Mario Party, they introduced these golden bananas. Maybe we can make that the primary MacGuffin of Donkey Kong 64. It's just a coincidence. I'm sure of it. Rare did look to the Donkey Kong Country cartoon and say, hey, we can make crystal coconuts an item. We can base Tiny Kong's design off the way Dixie Kong looks in the game. You know, we can do little subtle ways to make the cartoon a little bit more consistent with our own output. But Mario Party was just a complete coincidence. But you know what? Coincidences still count when you're looking at sheer in-universe links and world building. So, yeah. This is where Donkey Kong got his golden banana horde. He was playing Mario Party. He discovered the golden bananas left behind by the ancient Kongs, and he brought them back to a brand new cave in the Congo jungle, built a watchtower to watch over them, and that is what some of Donkey Kong 64's plot revolved around. So
these are the same golden bananas that can transport you to different worlds in Returns, right? Are those one and the same?
So my belief, Malik, is that so clearly Michael Kelbow and Rare and Hudson Soft, they were all talking with each other, and they're like, okay, so we've got a 10-year plan here, an 11-year plan here. So that golden banana that can transport you between the Rare Archipelago dimension, which I call our dimension, and the home dimension of Tiki Tong. That golden banana is the main golden banana. These golden bananas were made in homage to that golden banana.
Right.
Right. That were first found in Mario Party. So, this is the way my brain works, and I think it's a beautiful brain, Malik. You will not shame my brain for working the way
You have no
it does.
idea how happy this makes me that someone actually cares enough to try and put this stuff together. It's not just me.
You know when I said our Facebook page goes on these lore deep dives? This is one of the first deep dives I did in our weekly feature called Continuity Candy that happens every Tuesday/Wednesday morning, depending on when I can get it up, lads. And yeah, so I made this connection, and I think I blew maybe one mind when I did it. Maybe half a mind, but something was blown that night, and I take responsibility for it.
Hey, lads.
Now you might be saying at home, now Hyle, why are there what are the big granite slates? Not thwomps. Are they womps? From Super Mario 64. Oh, you don't know?
I think they're thwomps.
You don't know? What are they called?
I think they're thwomps. Thwomps. I think, right? Yeah, they're thwomps.
No. Womp is the so thwomps are the square ones that like slam down. Womps are the ones that stand upright.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're womps.
And
yeah.
thwomps had like an earlier the blue appearance before they got all chiseled and spiky. Wait, no, they
were chiseled
changed.
and spiky first, and then they took on the blue appearance, and then they became chiseled and spiky again.
They flip-flopped when they went to the third dimension.
Yeah, womps, though, are related to thwomps, but they are upright, like stone granite
with the
slates.
jacked up teeth and the things on the backs.
And they were first introduced in Super Mario 64. So, womps do guard alternate paths throughout DK's Jungle Adventure. So you might be saying, well, how is it in the Mushroom Kingdom then if there's thwomps instead of, say, critters or something? Obviously,
right.
The womps came over through the warp pipe to participate in the event. Like it's not hard, people. Like they brought characters and things over through the warp pipe. So it's still Donkey Kong Island. It's just visiting womps.
I'm just wondering how they did that because they always rise and they come down and then they rise. Someone had to push them over, you think?
Yeah.
Like, how does the warp pipe work?
I think they brought them over on a big shipping pallet, and then yeah. No. So the warp pipe in the original Mario Party, this warp pipe in Mushroom Village, you see them fall down in it, and like when you fall down in it, Toad asks you, hey, do you, how many human players are playing? What's the difficulty? Blah blah blah. Which character do you want to be? So you can fall, I think, for an infinite time, and you can put in the coordinates of where you want to go, whether you want to be locally in that dimension or if you want to breach dimensions and go to, say, Donkey Kong Island. And so that's what's happening when you're falling, but you can fall for an infinite amount of time until you put in those coordinates. It's like this endless wormhole. So, and I guess they just dumped a bunch of womps through there. So, all right, let's move on. Let's move on though. We're not going to get into complete detail into each board. I just want to touch upon each one. Same thing with the mini games. We're not going to bore everyone by going into obsessive detail about every single mini game because I don't have it in me. You don't have it in you. The viewers or listeners don't have it in them. It's another 1-star difficulty board is Mario's Rainbow Castle. And this is essentially Mario's private castle in the sky because Mario is in the 1%. He might have blue collar roots, but because he rescued a princess and developed a romantic relationship with her, he essentially married in.
Mooched off of her.
Yeah, he essentially married in, even though they haven't married. They've married into the royal family, and he gets all of these castles and all of these riches and luxuries that the commoners like us who get their YouTube channel demonetized, we don't get to...
Or they have to fight a legal case with the Pokemon Company.
Right, exactly.
We don't get nothing.
Exactly. I mean, Mario can afford contacts every single month. He has his whole refrigerator filled with Angry Orchard. You know what the worst part is, Malik? That bastard can eat lasagna. He's like in his 60s now. He can eat lasagna all he wants. He dreams about it. He doesn't have any stomach issues as a result. Have you ever seen Mario on a toilet for hours on end because of the dietary choices he's made? I don't think so.
I've seen a lot of crazy things with Mario in him, but I gotta say, I've never seen him on the toilet.
I mean...
Nope.
I don't know. Maybe this happens off camera, like Bowser's trials and stuff. Maybe this happens off. Maybe this is why he became a plumber in the first place, because he kept clogging up the toilet, and it was embarrassing. And he was like, I'm tired of calling a plumber every time I eat Italian food. I'm Italian American, even though I'm from the mushroom world because of Stork and everything. But we're gonna ignore that. But you know what? I'm Italian America. And this is embarrassing that I can't go to Sbarro's and have a slice and without paying for it all night long, and then having to call a plumber in the morning because, whoops, it's all clogged. So he became a plumber because he just couldn't afford the embarrassment anymore, nor could he afford the plumbing
For a second, I thought we were talking about you for a second. I was a little confused there.
No, although maybe I should become a plumber to make money.
Where are you gonna get it? We've already talked about this. We're just beating the dead horse now.
Oh, so anyway, Mario's Rainbow Castle. It's a castle in the sky. It's similar to the last world in Super Mario 64 and the Super Smash Bros. Melee stage. You know, similar aesthetics there. The goal of this board is to get the rainbow shining again, because the rainbow's gone out. And we need to reignite the rainbow. I don't know. It sounds like the plot of like
Care Bears or something.
Yeah, a little bit. But that is the ultimate goal. So Donkey Kong, in my personal canon, reignited the rainbow.
He saved the rainbow
several times over for Mario on easy, medium, and hard.
Is there anything that Donkey Kong can't be an icon for?
No, exactly, right? We should have known it back in 1999 when he reignited that rainbow. We should have
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how we couldn't see that now, but now it's all clear.
So, 2-star difficulty, Malik. We're up to 2 stars. Peach's birthday cake. This is a stupid board. But I should also point out, too, that even though Mario's Rainbow Castle is 1-star difficulty, it is listed on the boards, on the list of boards, as last before the 2 unlockable boards. So for whatever reason, Mario's Rainbow Castle was number 6 out of all the selectable boards, even though it was only 1-star difficulty. So I played them in order. So I actually played Mario's Rainbow Castle last, and I distinctly remember playing Peach's Birthday Cake second, because it was such a come down after DK's Jungle Adventure. DK's Jungle Adventure was awesome because I was in the Congo jungle, man. I was eating golden bananas, and then all of a sudden I'm on a giant birthday cake in Peach's castle.
Yay! Let's get ready for a fancy tea party, why don't we?
So the objective of Peach's birthday cake, you're like walking around, and the goal is to light the candles on the cake in the shape of a large star. Diminishing returns here. We're going to go in a treasure hut and get these ancient golden bananas, these riches, and we're going to reignite a magical rainbow in the sky, and here we're going to light a birthday cake.
It's like we didn't already do that before in like Mario 64 or something.
Yeah, like I appreciate the thematic continuity that Peach is all about baking cakes. Like, they really pigeonholed her. Yeah, oh, she's the girl while she's in the kitchen baking cakes for us. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. It was all right. I think it was a strawberry cake.
That's fine by me. I mean, as long as it's not chocolate.
They're also like fondant, giant representations of the Mario Party cat. Like, there's Mario, Yoshi, Luigi, Donkey Kong and Wario as like.
There seems to be like 2 empty spots where Toad and Bowser could easily fit onto the cake. I'm looking at an image right now.
But where's Luigi? Oh, there's Luigi. Yeah, I didn't see Luigi. Yeah, so yeah. And of course, Peach doesn't put herself on the cake, but yeah.
Why the heck not? Oh, she's in like the Easter egg basket, right? Those are like little egg.
Oh,
eggs.
she is. Yeah, why is there an Easter egg basket full of, like, are there's like
what
Jordan
are those?
almonds or something?
Like pebbles or something? Easter,
No,
chocolate
they're
Easter
rocks. They're rocks. She's making them eat
colored
rocks. Yeah, to help with Mario's digestion. She saw it on Goop. She was like, I stick these rocks.
So it works for penguins.
I stick
Why
these
not
rocks
for
up
Mario?
my lady bits.
I wasn't even going there.
Well,
I was
it was
gonna
a
be
Gwyneth
like,
Paltrow. I was making a
swallow
Gwyneth
'em.
Paltrow joke, all right? Because Gwyneth Paltrow, because she was in the same room with Clooney and Julia Roberts about who the superstar is, but she lost. She lost because she was too busy sticking rocks where she shouldn't stick them. There's no medical benefit to it. There's no medical benefit to it. Don't do it, Malik. I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to warn our audience. It's quackery. Don't do it.
I wouldn't do it even if I could do it, Hyle.
Good. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like we have hope as a species. So Yoshi's Tropical Island.
Yes, Yoshi's
It's a small islet that I presume is just off the coast of Yoshi's Island. Because how could it not be? That would upset me if it wasn't.
I mean, the name kind of reminds me of, like, you know how there's Yoshi's New Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be like another offshoot. There could be a Yoshi archipelago. There's Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's New Island, Yoshi's Tropical Island. I can't think of any funny things right now, but
yeah,
there could be just a complete onset of stuff.
Yeah. Yoshi's Tropical Island sounds like a beach party, like a 60s beach party movie or something with like Frankie and Annette and Yoshi, of course, turning them into eggs. So yeah, Yoshi's Tropical Island. It's got giant fruit on it, like melons and melons, I guess, watermelons and cantaloupes, and stylistically, I guess, taking some cues from Yoshi's Story, which was still very much influential at this point in time as far as the aesthetics of the quote-unquote Yoshi series, which doesn't really exist anymore. But I mean,
it tried its best, Hyle.
It tried
really
its best,
tried.
but it always feels so awkward when you play Smash Brothers and Yoshi's got that little egg icon, and you're like, yeah.
And when you look at the trophies and like Brawls, the Yoshi series, there's like 5 trophies.
There were actually quite a bit spirits though for the Yoshi series. I think they're more than Donkey Kong, which isn't right, but whatever. They didn't put the Brothers Bear in as spirits. Spoilers. They didn't put the Brothers Bear in as spirits in Super Smash.
Yeah, I haven't seen those guys yet. I don't think they're in the game.
They're not in there because I've only got a couple more Donkey Kong spirits to unlock, and I've counted out the spaces, and there's no way the Brothers Bear are in there.
It wouldn't matter which one they put in there because they're all the best. I'm just asking for maybe like Barnacle or something. Anyone is fine.
So Yoshi's Tropical Island though has a very happy. I'm moving on because if you get me on the Brothers Bear, Malik, I'm liable to spend the next 2
we'll
hours.
be here for hours.
Yeah, no. Remember that episode in season 1 called Bears? We don't want a repeat of that. Don't want a repeat of that. So,
at least not right now.
It's got a happy ending, Yoshi's Tropical Island, because there are whirlpools in Yoshi's Tropical Island that like will drown the Yoshis, and oh no, there's a blue...
How is this happy?
No, listen. I'm telling. It's got a happy ending.
Okay,
right.
I'll take your word for it.
Just like the Avengers will have a happy ending, but not from the last Avengers, like the next Avengers movie. Just pretend like the whirlpools represent Thanos dust, and what I'm about to say represents whatever happens in the next Avengers movie. So the blue Yoshi wants to be with his friends, but he's trapped on a small island, and he can't get across because the whirlpools will drown him. But you use the power of the stars you collected to get rid of the whirlpools, and then create a bridge, and then the blue Yoshi runs across. Now, why did you get rid of the whirlpools when you're just going to make a bridge? I don't know. That's just showing off at that point, one or the other. don't need to do both. But yeah, the blue Yoshi's reunited with his friends, and everybody has a funky beach party where Yoshi devours Annette Funicello. So.
Well, okay then. That is a happy ending. You were right, Hyle.
I'm doing a John Lovitz. I'm doing a John Lovitz introduction. Wario's Battle Canyon.
People tell me I sound like John Lovitz, just high pitched sometimes.
You don't really. You sound like Malik.
First there was Donkey and Diddy, then Diddy and Dixie, Dixie and Kitty. Do you hear it now?
A little bit, but no, you sound like Malik, aka the Cartoon Gamer.
I'm glad. That's the nicest thing anyone has said about my voice in a long time.
You've got your own unique voice, and it's Malik's voice, and I love it. So, 2-star difficulty. The last 2-star difficulty is Wario's Battle Canyon. And Wario's Battle Canyon has got some dark implications, because in Wario's Battle Canyon, it is a canyon where there is a battle. And it is a battle between the Bob-Ombs and the Bob-Omb Buddies. The red and the black. And since it's a Wario's Battle Canyon, and there's no reason why it would be branded as Wario otherwise, the implication to me is that Wario has set off this war between the two Bob-Omb races for his own... He
puts the war in Wario.
Yeah, for his own amusement and jollies. Like, he's just instigated this war between them, and he's watching them fight each other. He's even, like, put up all this, like, paraphernalia, like bombs and fighter planes, but not really. Like, they're just hanging by strings from the canyon, like, ridges. He's just doing that to incite the battle. And why are you doing this,
just
Wario?
add a little atmosphere.
Yeah, like what are you? Is this some psychological experiment, or are you just a dick? Is there treasure to be had here? Like, why? What? Like, I'm so glad Wario, like, settled down in later years and, like, just started developing micro games, because, like, this isn't cool.
He still has an affinity with bombs. I think this is where it kind of... Well, no, I wouldn't say it started here, but it's on full display here.
According to Smash Brothers, he just eats too much cheese and tomato sauce.
He's a representation of you.
Except it's far more wet when it happens to me.
And it doesn't do 47% damage maximum.
Oh, it does much more than that.
I'm sorry. I'm not usually this... what's the word I'm looking for? I don't usually take jabs at people like this, but you're making me do this. You're making me do this, Hyle.
That's okay. Life has been taking jabs at me. Ian YouTube has been kicking me in the shins all week. Anyway, so Wario's Battle Canyon, obviously the ultimate goal, beside, when you win, is to bring about peace. It's like the Kongversation in Season 7. We're going to achieve world peace and maybe have the president of Nintendo on the show. So...
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm betting money on this.
So yeah, you bring peace between the two Bob-Ombs, and now if you play as Wario, this would, I guess, present a contradiction, because Wario wouldn't bring peace to the conflict unless he wanted to just feel good. Like, he wanted to be a hero, so he suddenly started this conflict just so he could solve it. Kind of like a Reichstag fire, but this to me is proof that the only logical way to beat this game is via Donkey Kong. It's the only character that makes sense to beat Mario Party with. Can't do it as Wario.
Oh, yeah.
And Luigi is just pathetic, so it can't be him, etc., etc. So anyway,
he's a real superstar.
By the way, I should point out too that if a player loses, like gets 4th place, they get punished in various ways in this version of Mario Party. So, for example, the 4th place player here, I remember, gets shot out of a cannon. And
Good Lord.
I forget the other ones, like Yoshi's Tropical Islands. I think got dragged off by a fish. And Peach's birthday cake, the 4th place player gets diabetes. And DK's Jungle Adventure, I don't know, the 4th place player...
Allergic reaction to pineapples?
No. It gets enslaved by Donkey Kong and then gets put to work in his golden banana mines How did he get all those golden bananas into that cave? It's because Luigi lost and got put in chains. He was chained Luigi.
Don't mistake me for someone else.
Speaking of Luigi has the worst board in the original Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
Luigi's Engine Room.
Luigi's Engine Room. What a name.
What a
when
concept.
I think Luigi,
what a concept.
I think of Engine Room.
Well, I mean, Luigi, like his brother, is a guy with a blue-collar heritage. Unlike his brother, he hasn't been handed everything like on a silver platter. Even after hooking up with Princess Daisy, I don't see Luigi living in a grand castle. He's got a mansion, but, you know, it's haunted.
It wasn't even his.
Yeah. So, but Luigi, he's got an engine room. Like, so my dad, before he was retired, he worked as a refrigeration technician for several major grocery store chains along the East Coast.
Literally.
And, yeah. So he would often have to go into the grocery store engine room, which is a thing that exists. How do these grocery stores power all of their refrigerators and lights? And they've got an engine room. And I remember as a child going into these engine rooms and being...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. Luigi's engine room. He's a plumber, so why is he in an engine room? I don't know.
Maybe that's something. It's close enough. Do you want an actual like Luigi's sewer?
Yeah, I do.
It's like Luigi's section of the sewer in New York City that he manages. That's what the board is going to be named.
Like 7 months prior to this game, Banjo and Kazooie literally flushed themselves down and wallowed in a mound of a witch's fecal matter. So Luigi could slum in the sewer.
Possible.
Yeah, come on. I like the concept of the original Mario Brothers game if you view it as an integral between the Donkey Kong arcade games and Super Mario Brothers, because
that's how I view it, actually.
Yeah, I mean that's how most people should view it, but it tells the story of how Mario and Luigi journeyed to the Mushroom Kingdom, and it was on a plumbing job in the New York sewers where they got attacked by turtles and then got sucked through the portal. But yeah, I want more games in sewers, Malik. Maybe it's the Ninja Turtle fan in me when I was a kid. I don't like the Ninja Turtles anymore, really, but when I was a kid, I watched the Ninja Turtles, so I like sewers.
I love the Ninja Turtles, man. I've been watching the new series, and that's a ton of fun, so I'd like to see some more games with sewers. I'd just like to see some decent Ninja Turtles games. We've had some, but they're not very good.
I had the sewer playset when I was a kid, and yeah, it was good times. I also had the Technodrome. All this on a refrigeration technician's salary, too.
All I got are two Turtles bathrobes from the 80s for my older brothers. They're staring at me right in the face right now.
Turtle bathrobes?
Yeah, or something. Like, they're like bathrobes or something. They're like geese or something.
Oh, okay.
I call them bathrobes. Because
so like
could wear them.
What Splinter wore?
Yeah, or something, you know, like those robes that you wear, like, did you see people wear, like, over their pajamas?
Yes. I don't wear robes or pajamas. Wink,
you don't wear pajamas?
Wink. No,
I see.
I sleep in my boxer shorts and a t-shirt.
Okay. Yeah. I immediately thought he sleeps without clothes on. I mean, I'm not going to judge him for that, but okay, whatever floats your boat.
Or, yeah, whatever floats, whatever else might be.
I see. Going for the low-hanging fruit.
Well, it hangs low sometimes. I'm talking about my penis, Malik, my genitals.
Yes, I knew that. that.
Okay.
I just didn't want to outright say it.
Oh. I was worried.
I know you don't have a tail, so
okay.
They're not located there.
I mean,
so you're no turtle, so.
Yeah. Right.
Moving on, I guess.
Luigi's Engine Room. I don't even know what happens in Luigi's Engine Room. It's something.
Probably something dirty. I don't know.
I actually have to look this up because I don't remember and I don't care because I hate Luigi's Engine Room. Okay. So the winners. This is according to Super Mario Wiki. So I'm just going to read it verbatim. This is for you, Super Mario Wiki. At the end of the game, the winner's stars form into a large star. What? That goes over to the engine and powers it up. It is revealed that the engine and surrounding board are located inside a wooden airship, as seen in Rainbow Ride in Super Mario 64, and later Rainbow Cruise in Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl. I think that's conjecture, though, on a Super Mario. With the winner standing at the front of the ship. The player in fourth place stays in the engine room and is burned by the steam generators while Bowser laughs at their torture.
That sounds like something. Are you sure you didn't edit this, Hyle?
No, because there's no reference to Pierre the Mushroom Person. You know what? I take it back. Luigi's engine room is now my favorite Mario Party board. Because holy shit.
That's pretty hardcore.
That is fucking brutal, man. That is cream of the crop as far as torture methods for the losing board game contestant. So
I thought the diabetes was pretty bad, but Mario themselves managed to one up us. No pun intended.
Blood, golden bananas was the worst concept, but no, burning by steam. So there are two more boards, but they are unlockable. You can unlock Bowser's Magma Mountain if you buy it for 980 coins. Very arbitrary number there. And after
that's kind of stupid.
And after,
no, not 1,000.
You also have to play all other boards at least once. So Bowser's Magma Mountain, which it's Dark World. It's Bowser's unending lava ocean where he has numerous castles, and he's just Bowser's hellscape. It's another view of that location in the Mushroom World.
I wonder how many of these things he must have, because there's always something different, but it's always like it always looks like it takes place in hell or something.
Yeah, I mean, if I were the Koopa Troop, I would be like, you know what? Maybe we should make nice with the mushroom. Like, I can see why they're always trying to invade the Mushroom Kingdom, because they live in that very tranquil, like rolling hills and meadows, and very very idyllic, but They always like go about it the wrong way. They always try to invade the Mushroom Kingdom by kidnapping the princess rather than doing anything else. And I don't know. I would like try to form some sort of like broker some sort of peace and maybe like form our combine our kingdoms so we can like spend more time where it's nice and not in something right out of Dante.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bowser's Magma Mountain. It's a magma mountain with Bowser and Baby Bowser. So it is a volcano.
Which Baby Bowser again?
It's one of them, but I think all 7 appear in the next one. I think there might only be anyway. So
I think there's like 2 in this game or 3.
The winner, though, what happens was their stars form into a large star yet again, and destroys the part of the mountain that Bowser was standing on, and he gets knocked over, and he's basically just like on the ground, screaming in pain, and then the winner jumps on him, like just to like say like. Bowser, I win. You suck, Bowser. And then, but there's no punishment for the 4th place player there, so I think Bowser is the one who gets punished there.
That's kind of disappointing. I guess Luigi's engine room is still number 1.
Yeah. Well, the Eternal Star is the final board of the game, and to unlock the Eternal Star, you have to collect 100 stars in gameplay and complete all other boards at least once. So this is the big one, the big prize for the game. And when I say you have to collect 100 stars, this is all stars collected in the course of gameplay. So it's a communal pool of stars. So it doesn't matter whether you're playing them. All the stars that everybody collects can be taken into the pot then. But Eternal Star is essentially a version of Star Road from numerous Mario games, but first seen in Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Eternal Star, it's been broken up and graffitied by Bowser because Bowser is a dick. And so you're in space.
Plain and simple.
You're in mushroom space, and Bowser broke up. Bowser and his 7 children that are with him on this adventure, they drew in crayon and spray paint all of this Koopa related graffiti, and so the goal is to make the Eternal Star whole again. But you got the 7 Koopa kids on all the pieces of the Eternal Star. Excuse me, baby Bowser's on all of the pieces of the Eternal Star because it's been broken up into 7 pieces, so they're all guardians. So this is where I got that from, Malik.
Right.
And so anyway, the goal is to make this Eternal Star whole again, and it ends with Bowser and baby Bowser, the main baby Bowser, getting blasted into outer space, where we presume they are left to freeze to death, as is the last time we ever see Bowser ever
on any platform.
So, in my headcanon, though, I did, after I beat, quote-unquote, Mario Party and finished Eternal Star in the hardest difficulty against nothing
killed Bowser.
Against nothing but CPU, I said, so from the perspective of Donkey Kong and Mario and Luigi and Peach and Yoshi and Wario and Toad, they must believe that Bowser is dead now. Like from their perspective, they think we have killed Bowser, and he is left a popsicle corpse floating in the reaches of mushroom space.
Right.
And of course, when Mario Golf came about later that summer, Bowser
everything was back to normal.
Bowser made his way back to Mushroom Earth, because I assume Bowser used magic, like he used Koopa magic, his dark turtle arts, to make
like Magic Koopa or something.
He made an oxygen bubble, an atmospheric bubble around himself, and protected himself, and he very slowly made his way back to Mushroom Earth. They probably weren't that far from Mushroom Earth, so it's not like he, was traveling at, speeds and, like, theory of relativity, and he comes back, and everybody's now elderly, but he's the same age, and he's like Matthew McConaughey, and he's like, all right. That's Bill Clinton, I apologize, but you know what I mean. He's like, oh, I'm Matthew McConaughey, baby, and I was in interstellar space, and now my daughter's an old lady, but whatever, I'm gonna go find Anne Hathaway out there on the rocket moon.
Yeah, baby, your Matthew McConaughey actually sounds quite like your Bill Clinton.
I think they're the same person, because I think what happened was Matthew McConaughey, he went up into space, and he went back through a wormhole, and he came back, and he became Bill Clinton, and we're going to find out that the timelines intersected, and they became the same person. All right.
I've missed that.
Well, you're not going to get good impressions without Chad. What can I say? I'm sorry to let the Conversation audience down. Unless you want to.
No, that was fantastic. I
don't know how your impression game is, Malik. Like, you did John Lovitz earlier.
Yeah, I did. My impressions are pretty good. Like, what do you want me to do? Do you have anything in mind?
Joe Pesci.
Well, let's see, Joe Pesci, he's sort of like somewhere around here. I mean, I've never seen Goodfellas. I really only know him from, like, Home Alone, and he kind of talks like this. Am I sort of like in that ballpark?
Yeah, you sort of got it there. Okay, do Fabio next.
I do not know what Fabio sounds like.
He did the I Can't Believe It's Not Butter commercials, and I believe he appeared as a guest on an episode of the classic 90s family sitcom Step by Step.
Well, I know of the I Can't Believe It's Not Butter, but I'm going to have to look at those and then get a good grasp of what he sounds like.
You could have also just screamed in agony as a bird hit your face.
I was going to say that. I was like, ow, a bird just hit my face. I came to the amusement park for amusement.
Why does he have a southern
accent?
Far from
amusement.
He's like European or something. Like, he's... His name's Fabio. That's not a southern name. I'm Fabio, baby. That's Bill. See, that's
howdy. I'm Fab. Hey, baby, I'm Fabio. I went to the amusement park and I got hit by a bird. What are the chances of that, huh?
Hey, baby, oh my! You want to look at my pecs? They bounce up and down. My man boobies, they go jiggly.
I was on the box art for Wizards and Warriors once, and people referred to me as a mid-90s housewife's fantasy.
I still was a mid-90s housewife fantasy.
Until I got hit by that darn bird. Then it all went downhill.
All right. Well, anyway. Yeah. Bowser and his favorite baby Bowser are, because I say the main one, but that's not fair to the other 6. He's just, Bowser does play favorites. This was his favorite until Bowser Jr. came of age, and then it was just like, but anyway, yeah, they presumed dead for several months until he made his way back to Earth just in time to golf, and you know. He somehow evaded the authorities because he was still wanted by the police, but he got to participate in that golfing
I guess they presumed that he was dead.
They presumed
just like everybody else.
Maybe there's some sort of like double jeopardy kind of thing where like if you die, if you're presumed dead, then you can't be tried for the same crimes that you were once wanted for in the Mushroom Kingdom.
It's like a clean slate.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, well, I thought he was dead, but, you know, let's try again.
Because then after the Mario Golf duology for the N64 and the Game Boy Color, then you next see Bowser from the perspective of the Donkey Kong universe, at least, in Mario Party 2, where he's fully cooperating with them and their whole Mario Land, like, theatrical play production. So... Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe his presumed death is what got him off on these past charges.
Yeah, and it's not like he faked his death. He thought he was as good as done out there too.
Yep. But then he remembered I've got the dark turtle magic to protect myself.
No one needs to know that.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Minigame Island, Malik. Now, Minigame Island was a different way to experience all of the minigames of Mario Party. You could select this from Mushroom Village, but you got on a little raft and you went downstream until you went out to sea, and then you got to the closest body of land, which is Minigame Island. Uh-huh. Minigame Island was a platforming style progression through every minigame in Mario Party. And when I say platforming style progression, I don't mean like it was a 2D platformer. I mean, like Super Mario World or like Donkey Kong Country, there was a map screen with worlds and levels, and you went to each one, which represented a different minigame. And canonically, Minigame Island is where all these minigames in the original Mario Party take place. So every time you go to a minigame, the characters actually warp back to Minigame Island. And so, like, you've got, like, logical layouts. Like, there's one more desert region, there's this interior cavern, there's the seaside region. And so the minigames are kind of laid out where they logically would go according to the environment they take place in. So, I really like Minigame Island. Minigame Island was, I think, one of the more pleasurable experiences playing the original Mario Party. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about the mini-games of the original Mario Party, there's quite a bit. We're not going to talk about all of them, but there are ones that I think come to mind more than others. And so...
Some that Nintendo would like to forget ever existed.
Ones that made Nintendo give out for free a completely... unnecessary accessory that could have been avoided had Hudson Soft had the well-being of players in mind, but they didn't. So
I can't believe they worked with them after that.
I know. I can't believe they were still a functioning studio after that. I mean, like Nintendo's like ghosted people for
less.
For far less essentially. But yeah, I guess they were more forgiving. Still in 1999. That's how Rare got away with having guns in Donkey Kong 64. And how
I like to think that when when they showed the original guns to Miyamoto, if you ever saw like that Futurama episode with Chairman Koji, he just screamed like, "Oh!"
See, I like to imagine like Miyamoto just got fitted for a monocle during this time, and he had a monocle and maybe a top hat. It was a new look he was going for. And he went to Twycross and they showed him Donkey Kong 64. And when Donkey Kong pulled out the double-barreled shotgun before they replaced it with a coconut shooter, when he had a double-barreled shotgun in the game, Miyamoto's monocle dropped and fell into his beverage, and the top hat kind of like blew off his head. And that was the last he ever wore a monocle and a top hat because of the double-barreled shotgun that the DK64 team tried to put in Donkey Kong 64.
But it was a pun, double-barreled. Am I right?
Except it would have been more of a pun had it actually looked like it was made of barrels instead of just being a gun, like you would see in GoldenEye.
It's like, sorry, we still got GoldenEye on the brain, but Miyamoto was like whispering to his cohorts, like, we're selling. Give him 2 more years.
Even though the Kongversation has already did a 2-part Donkey Kong 64 spotlight a couple years back, we are still going to be talking about Donkey Kong 64 this season on the occasion of its 20th anniversary. Never you people worry. We're going to be talking about it quite a bit. The George Andreas fault. So, minigames, Malik. So, Shy Guy Says is one of my favorite ones in the original Mario Party. So, it's basically Simon Says, but with the Shy Guy. And it introduces the character of Cap'n Shy Guy, who would kind of later reappear selectively in later Mario Party installments, and also maybe made a cameo in Mario Kart Super Circuit. I know Pirate Shy Guys did appear in, I think, the Yoshi games or Pirate Theme Shy Guys, but I think Captain Shy Guy is an original creation for Mario Party. Anyway, yeah,
he's a Hudson original.
Yep, just like Talking Parrot and Corto, Fun Gus. Yeah, all of those classic. Where are the spirits for the Talking Parrot, Sakurai? Like, this is what I choose to be outraged. Since you gave me K. Rool and I should be happy, I need to be outraged about something you do. So I'm going to say the lack of spirits for the Brothers Bear. Nope. And Talking Parrot and Pierre and Corto. And Captain Shy Guy, of course. Yeah, Captain Shy Guy, he holds up different flags that represent the N64 buttons, and you've got to press the right button, but he'll try to trick you. He'll start holding up one, but he won't hold it up all the way, and then he'll put it down. The easiest way to beat this is just to obsessively press pause, and then you'll get it works. You get a good idea of if he's going to trick you or not, and what he's actually holding up. And then you can still get a jump on every other player. Little pro tip there for Shy Guy Says.
Oh, that's great. That's hilarious.
So, you remember the beginning of Super Mario 64 when you could give Mario plastic surgery with your hands?
I'm sorry, what?
At the beginning of Super Mario 64, when on the screen before the game starts, you can...
Oh, plastic surgery. Okay. I was thinking bosoms, but no, the face.
Why would your brain go to there? Like, oh yeah, remember when Mario got breast augmentation? You remember that? Yeah.
I can't say that I do. You think I would remember something like that?
No, when you stretched his face and could make it all deformed looking, or you could restore his youth if you want. Well, they put that essentially as a mini game called Facelift. Right. And but here it's a little bit different. They'll show you a picture of a character, and it can be numerous characters. From the game, I believe. In Mario Party, it was Bowser, and then they brought it back in Mario Party 2, and I believe that's when it was different characters. But anyway, I think it was just Bowser in the original Mario Party. Because some of these mini games would reappear in the sequel, and so my brain gets cloudy when talking about them. But yeah, it would show you Bowser's face, and it would be deformed in some way, and then you would have to poke and prod and match it, and whoever matches it would win the minigame, or comes closest to matching. There's also the weird minigame called Crazy Cutter, which is a similar thing where whoever comes closest to... you have a jackhammer, and you're trying to chisel out the fossilized remains of a Mario character, like a Boo or something. And
right.
You have to get around the outline, and whoever gets around the outline the best, the ghost of the fossil will finally be free to journey to the afterlife to be with all of its all of its family and friends that have long left this realm. Dark implications here.
I mean, getting burned by steam,
yeah,
saving people, getting sent out to space, freezing to death.
Yeah.
Mario Party 1's pretty... giving people blisters.
Well, we'll get to the blisters, Malik. Let's the blisters, or the coup de grace here. The coup de grace here.
Let's not jump the double-barreled shotgun here.
Let's not do it. So, by the way, I should also... I mean, pretty much if you're listening to this, you're going to be familiar with Mario Party. There's the 4-player mini-games, which pits 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. There's the 1 versus 3 mini-games, where 3 players team up on another player. There's the 2 versus 2 mini-games. And then there are the single players that you just play by your lonesome. The single-player mini-games. And then there's a special mini-game, Bumper Ball Maze, that you get if you beat Minigame Island. But, yeah, so the 1 versus 3 mini games, there is my favorite is Paddle Battle, and it's my favorite that they expanded it and made it a whole mode in Super Mario Party.
Really?
Yeah, and also one of those limited time spirits in Super Mario Brothers Ultimate. From that gave me so much stress for the few days that you had to get those during the Super Mario event, the weekend event from a few weeks ago. And there's the Golden Mushroom, the River Survival, and what was the other one? The Dice from Mario Party. But they came at a time when I didn't have great spirits, so I was getting my ass handed to me. And then they would disappear from the spirit board, and you'd have to wait 40 minutes to an hour for them to come back. And luckily now they're doing this thing where the events... they stick around for a certain time, like an hour. You have an entire hour. Even if you lose, you can immediately replay that event. But they're not time-limited spirits. You can get those whenever they appear. So, whatever. I'm going on a rant here.
That's okay. We've been doing that all night.
Paddle Battle. It's basically whitewater rafting, and you've got 3 players on one side, 1 player on the other, and the goal is to knock the one side into the riverbank where some unfortunately perhaps racist depictions of Shy Guys being spear holding like natives.
They show up in Yoshi's Island.
Okay. I'm just saying it probably wouldn't fly in 2019. We're trying to make the world a better place, Malik. I'm just pointing out what wouldn't actually fly in 2019. And with the conversation, we're trying to change the world. We're trying to bring about world peace by the end of the year. And I'm just trying to point out the systematic racism in 1999's Paddle Battle. So,
yeah, I mean, you gotta.
But it was a different era too. So we can't necessarily hold up the standards of today to 20 years ago. It just was what it was.
Yeah.
Tightrope Treachery is another 1 versus 3 minigame where you tightrope walk over the ocean, and the other 3 players are down in little boats firing cannonballs at you. That was always a favorite of mine, although not necessarily being the one on the tightrope. I always enjoyed firing the cannonballs, though.
Right.
There's Tug of War, but we'll save that for the end. 2 versus 2 minigames. There was Handcar Havoc, which was as close as we got to a minecart scenario in this game, where you have not the Donkey Kong Country style minecarts, but you had the Banjo-Tooie style hand cars where you're having to pump it, and you're racing two teams are racing each other on these hand cars on the mine tracks, but you're over lava, a la Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Talk about systematic racism, am I right? But anyway, you can go too fast on the turns and fall into the lava, I believe. Not my favorite, but I always liked the sight of Donkey Kong on minecart tracks. One I did like was Bobsled Run, which was another race, but in a bobsled, but there was no lava there, so it was better. It was better there. I don't remember any of the single player mini games. Like there's like the memory match one, which was very, very similar to, of course, to the Sheepy Shop of Donkey Kong Land 3, hosted by Bizarre Bear and not a made up character called Bear Bear.
Oh, right. Mario Wiki said that, but now they've gone back on that.
No. Bear is still an entry, but they acknowledge at least that his design is that of Bizarre, so they leave it up to you to decide.
Okay.
And now, of course, Chris Alcock is claiming Bear Bear is Banjo's father, and that's a whole thing. But, which I don't dispute. Banjo's father probably is a bear named Bear but we've never met Bear Bear, and it's certainly not the character from the Sheepy Shop in Donkey Kong Land 3.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, Tug of War.
We're getting back on a bear tangent. I'm sorry.
Tug of War. Before we get to our call and our final thoughts, let's talk about Tug of War. Malik, you've never played Tug of War.
Nope, but I've only seen it. But I know that this game has a serious history.
It is the worst. The worst. It's another impression there of a president, but I bet you can't guess which one.
I remember I did one last year and I felt bad for doing it.
Yeah, don't feel bad. You're Canadian. It's fine. You got. I'll do Justin Trudeau. No, you have to do Justin Trudeau because I just did Herbert Hoover or whoever that president was. Do an impression of Trudeau.
I think Trudeau. I don't really see too much of the Canadian politics, but I think Trudeau, he kind of just talks like this. Something like that.
He sounds
very
like Malik
soft-spoken.
From off of the cartoon.
He's very soft-spoken. He kind of sounds like me.
I see. I just picture him because he's an adorable man. He's hunky. I want to see him without a shirt. But I just picture him shirtless on a romance novel a la Fabio. And so then I just start thinking Fabio is your prime minister, and it just gets all muddled. And then I picture Justin Trudeau on a roller coaster with a bloody nose and bird feathers. So.
You get hit by a goose. You don't want to get hit by a goose.
We have so many Canadian geese down here right now. What are you gonna do about that, Malik? They're yours, but they're down here.
They'll be back. They'll be back.
They're pooping all over the place. They're geese peep.
We still have some scragglers out here that are just kind of stupid, but they'll all come back. They know where they want to go.
I know Virginia is to the south of Canada, and to them it's much warmer here. But I'm like, keep flying, man. You're gonna like it's warmer even further south. Like, head to the Caribbean. What are you doing staying here?
Go to Florida or something.
Yeah,
it's
right?
much better there.
I don't know. Maybe they
or California. There's no alligators.
Maybe they're just afraid
California.
Maybe they're just afraid of the time travel in the Bermuda Triangle, and they don't want to end up like Matthew McConaughey / Bill Clinton.
Or Fabio.
So Tug of War, Malik. Tug of War is just, like I said, it's the worst. It's miserable. You are on one side, and you're a character, and if you are the one against the other three, you're in a Bowser costume, which I guess is to imply you have enhanced strength. And then the other
and
three
your head is giant.
Yeah. There's definitely like some swelling that goes on. Like the Bowser costume gives your character a case of the temporary mumps. I don't really know how that works, but you don't really hear much about the mumps anymore. When I was a kid, everybody was like, "Don't want to get the mumps." And I don't really hear. Me too. Last time I heard the mumps was when they made jokes about it on Parks and Recreation, but that was more on the testicles than it was on the face.
Ugh.
But anyway, you don't hear about the mumps anymore. And when I was a kid, you heard about the mumps.
Yeah, last I heard of them was like in 2005 or something.
Yeah.
No one makes mumps jokes. It's still chicken pox. Chicken pox is still a thing.
No, but they have a vaccine for oh, but Jenny McCarthy, that's right.
I'm not even gonna ask.
in the celebrity version of Mario Party that I concocted, let's have Jenny McCarthy be the one burned by the steam.
Okay.
That makes me happy. So anyway, Tug of War is the worst. The third time I've said that. Everybody knows what it is.
Just have to
reiterate.
You have to
rotate the control stick really fast. The problem is Mario Party was the original Mario Party games. Let's say the N64 trio, the trilogy. They were never that balanced as far as you've got to do something really fast to beat the computer or whatever.
Right.
Because the problem is sometimes that would be a hoax. Like, for example, Mario Party 2, which I've been playing a lot because it's the only Mario Party game available on the eShop from the original N64 group, and I don't know why that is, but so I get screenshots for it on the Facebook page. Every Sunday mornings I've been doing this like playthrough of Mario Party 2's Mystery Land, and just doing a different segment for that every Sunday morning, and so I've been playing a lot of that, and in that game you can get Boo to steal coins or a star from other players. But if you have Boo attack you and say steal your coins, it says press A repeatedly to shake Boo off. That does nothing. It doesn't matter how fast you can hit A, Boo will still steal around 20 coins from you. It doesn't help at all. And, something like Canary Mary in Banjo-Tooie seems unfair, but there is a strategy that you can employ, and it is possible to beat it. But Mario Party isn't completely honest with you, and it expects too much out of what you can do physically with your control. Mario Party is where I devised this method of what I call the finger detachment method. And that is where you have to hold your index finger. And this is assuming you're, completely, able-bodied. You have all 5 fingers and 5 toes, and but you got your index finger above the button you have to press. Like, let's say the A button, and you're not actually pressing down on it, but you put the controller on the floor. You hold your index finger over the A button, and then you start violently shaking your hand. Like, you flex your arm muscle, and then you shake your hand back and forth, and you let your index finger hit the A button repeatedly. You're not pressing down on it. You're letting the tremors of your own hand do the work for you, and that lets you hit the A button very, very fast, much faster than you would if you were just pressing. So that is the method I devised for this and Canary Mary. Although initially for Canary Mary I did the spoon method, but eventually I realized I was accomplishing the same thing with the spoon as I was with my index finger, and the spoon was just getting in the way. But anyway, with Tug of War though, you have to rotate the control stick very fast to beat the other side. And what the game demands of you is this Herculean, Fabio-esque feat of strength. And the problem is the N64 controller is not the most durable controller. You pick one up nowadays and it's so light. It's almost light as a feather. As light as a feather on Fabio's face, Malik.
It wouldn't be very light at that velocity he was going.
You pick up the GameCube controller, you pick up the Pro controller, you pick up an Xbox controller. They have heft to them. The N64 controller is virtually weightless. I last played an
Practically
N64
plastic.
at E3 last year, and I was astonished at how little it weighed, and it was disconcerting. It felt like I was holding a cheap toy. But
it's like when I put a transfer pack in my N64 controller for like Pokemon games and stuff, I have to be careful because there's so much weight, and if it falls, all my data gets erased on my Pokemon game. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, so basically you're running the risk of damaging your controller. But even worse, you're running the risk of damaging your hand. The amount of blisters I got, because you quickly realize my thumb is not cutting the mustard as far as rotating this control stick. And I would get blisters on my thumb, both right and left. And eventually, you're only left with the middle of your palm. And then you realize, hey, I can rotate this much faster with the middle of my palm than I can with my thumbs. And then you get the blisters. The most painful blisters of your life. The just bloody, disgusting. Like at first it just becomes a blister, but then you don't realize you have a blister and you keep going, and then the blister tears, and you get the weird blister juice, the blister water. You get that all over your N64 controller, which creates this permanent crust, because blister water is this weird middle ground between water and pus. It's not pus, but it dries in a similar fashion. It just this bodily fluid that gets crusty on your N64 controller, which makes it disgusting, and it yellows it. But beyond that, in the heat of the moment, in the heat of Mario Partying, you're tearing your blister.
You don't feel it.
You don't feel it, but then you realize, I had a blister, I tore the blister, and now I've got blood coming from my hand. So you put a bandage on it, but it's in the middle of your palm. Not an area that's not really conducive for bandages.
Yeah, it's not really good for bandages.
So you're essentially then on the disabled shelf. You're on the injured list for the better part of several days, which when you're trying to do a 50-turn Mario Party session is inconvenient.
It's not going to work.
So you got to use your left hand then, and then the cycle repeats itself. Apparently, this was widespread. This was happening to me. This was happening to gamers all around the world. So much so that
Nintendo found themselves in the middle of a class action lawsuit.
What, was there a lawsuit, or were they trying to avoid a lawsuit?
They actually did receive a lawsuit, but they didn't have to do too much.
I really wish I had sued them now, because maybe I would have some money in the bank from 1990. I would have blown it. I would have blown it between now and then. Because I'm thinking, I'm trying to think, how could I get more income now that YouTube has demonetized DK Vine, at least for the time being, and maybe I could go back in time via a McConaughey wormhole and retroactively sue them in 99 for what they did to me back then, for the scar that's still on my hand. Anyway, yeah, so they gave out gloves, and I've never seen one of these Mario Party gloves. I'm going to do a quick Google search on the machine right now, tippity tappity tip tap, and see what it looks like.
I always imagined it as like looking like a power glove or something.
So I'm not seeing. Oh my god, I'm seeing pictures of the blister though. Oh my god, that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Oh shit. Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like.
I looked. I didn't want to look.
Okay, so they were simple white gloves that they handed out. So yeah, okay. So they weren't it looks like they weren't branded like Mario Party, like the logo on the glove. They were very simple. That's disappointing.
Even in the middle of a class action lawsuit, Nintendo is still classy enough that they put their branding on the things that they have to apologize for.
And then they would be on eBay nowadays going for hundreds of dollars, but then you'd get it and there would be that same like blister juice on the inside of it, all crusty and yellow, and you're like, whose blister juice is this? And then, we're in the 21st century, so people will be able to take that blister juice and clone you from it. Gotta watch out.
I don't even want to know what the end result would look like.
Yeah, because it would be a clone of you from 99 with your mangled hands and your aversion to Tug of War. So Tug of War was just the worst. And the thing is, they reduced the amount of controller spinning in the sequels. Mario Party 2 actually eliminated it completely. Like they had no more mini games where you had to vigorously rotate the controller stick. So.
Oh well, it's their first time making the game. They can't always We can't always figure out what's good for the consumer and what's not good.
So the Prince and the Revolution song, 1999. With the refrain, we're gonna party like it's 1999. Actually, about nuclear war and the end of days, but it had a very upbeat sound to it. So people just thought it was we're gonna party like it's 1999. Yeah. But maybe it was about eating pizza and the diuretic bouts that followed afterwards. I don't really know, but
could be.
Mario Party came out outside of Japan in 1999, so it's called Mario Party. So there was a lot of jokes to be had then. It's amazing Nintendo didn't license the song in their commercials. They instead had the commercial where Mario. Yeah, they didn't, but they should have. I assume it probably would have been way too much money. For Smash Brothers, they licensed the Turtle song "So Happy Together," but I guess that went for far less than Prince would have netted even back in '99. And plus, that was when he wasn't Prince, but he was the artist formerly known as Prince, and he had a whole lawsuit against the Warner Brothers label that he was a part of when he was with the Revolution and did that song. So maybe there were all sorts of rights that weren't available. The commercial was still pretty funny for Mario Party. It involved Mario getting arrested.
Right. I've seen that before. It's hilarious.
But it's
Nintendo
a Mario. Yeah, tell it to the judge. It was actually fairly subversive for a Nintendo commercial back then, but of course it's always overshadowed by the Smash Brothers commercial, which features the characters beating each other up, like the costume versions of characters beating each other up in a meadow. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was still good. But anyway, whenever I hear that Prince song, I think of Tug of War, and that's how I partied, like it was 1999.
Whenever I hear Turtles, I just have an itch to just trip the person that is closest to me.
Whenever I think of Turtles, I always think about where their penis is coming out of. Stay away from that tail, let me tell you. So we have
so happy
one call, Malik. We have
one call.
Nobody cared about Mario Party sans one person. Enough to call in, at least. So we're going to take the call. We're going to check in with a live stream, see what comments we've been missing while we've been talking about Fabio and Turtle Dicks. And then we're going to give our final thoughts on the original Mario Party. So here we go.
Hey, I'm the 13th time caller here. I'm not the 12th time, the 13th time caller. Boy, every single call about Mario Party will be about how that one minigame turned you into Jesus. Well, turn your hands into Jesus' hands. Anyway, my headcanon for Jesus is he was always actually just stuck in a cave with only Mario Party to play. First, I'm putting together an episode of my podcast about how Pokemon is also a Warner Brothers property because of how Detective Pikachu is being put out by Warner Pictures and how the anime was such a strong part of the Kids WB brand. I even been watching through the 739 bumpers, promos, commercials that made up the WB network and the Kids WB brand. Fun stuff and the same 90s nostalgia as DK Vine. Anyway, as I was putting together this episode, I came across the Cartoon Gamers YouTube video about how the Pokemon anime was part of the Kids WB and YTV brands. So thank you, Malik, for that info. Anyway, back to Mario Party. I got it, I believe, the day it came out and was blown away by the continuity of how the warp pipe brought everyone to the party. I played this a lot at sleepover for birthdays with my friends Jake, Jason, and David. We all had the infamous hole in our hands. I remember going to school and comparing party scars. By the way, Andrew WK, the king of partying, either needs to be in the next Mario Party or needs to do the music for the next Mario Party. When it's time to party, we will always party scar, party scar, party scar, party scar, party scar, scar, scar. Meow.
That was an interesting call.
13th caller, what the hell? Thank you for the call. And apparently he watched your video that's getting you sued by Warner Brothers.
Oh no, that's not the one. That one has not been touched by anybody, but I'm glad he liked that one. He brought up just how Pokemon is still a Warner Brothers property. Like, That's still kind of true. Like the DVDs are still distributed. Like when I look at my DVDs that I got like last year, they still have a little Warner Brothers logo in the bottom right, with all the legal information and stuff.
Yeah,
so he's right about that.
It'll be interesting what happens when Disney buys Nintendo. What happens with Pokemon and all of those rights?
Well, Disney does have the TV broadcasting rights for Pokemon. It's on their app and blah, blah, blah. But let's not think about that.
Well, I mean, I guess Nintendo's partnered with Universal, but Disney will obviously buy Universal one day, and they'll buy Warner Brothers, and they'll buy Nintendo, and Microsoft.
I just pray I'm not alive to see that.
Oh, you will. It'll be in the next 3 years.
No, don't say that. I swear to God.
Oh, yeah. So everybody knows about the scar. Everybody knows about the hole in the hand. And I don't think there's anything more we can say about that. Let's check in with the live stream. And, just Andre and a stream of consciousness. Captain Cheesebag was also there, but God, just Andre had so much he wanted to say. And so just going through this here. So blah, 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 blah. Okay, Mamie Koopa Society refuses to ascribe names to their young until they grow up enough to undergo some sort of personal spiritual quest that allows them to earn the privilege of a name. Referring, of course, to Baby Bowser / Koopa Kid and the 7 of them.
Such creative names they chose for themselves.
I like to imagine Bowser just calls them that. Like, there's Bowser Jr., and then there's the Koopa Kids, and you're Baby Bowser, and then you hit a certain age, and you get, like, something, like, you're named after Morton Downey Jr., and Wendy O, and all sorts of weirdo late 70s / 80s icons of pop culture. So yeah, it's so weird the Koopalines names when you really like look who they're named after. Like, we've got a Mario character named after Iggy Pop, and we got the Morton Downey Jr. one is the one that still like blows. Like, that is such a nowadays an obscure reference, but it would be a weird reference for Nintendo to make even back then. You know, you look at like Rare and their references, and you're like, okay, yeah, they named Two Brothers Bear after the male members of ABBA. Like, that's funny, but that's rare. Like, you would expect that, but
yeah, the little British thingies and things like that.
Yeah, but the Koopalines are like and I'm pretty sure Nintendo of America named them, and then they've just rolled with the name since. But yeah, because the Super Mario Brothers 3 cartoon show gave them completely different names. Which is because they didn't have names for them when they were doing the cartoon. But that's why you need to synchronize with the people doing your outside media, Nintendo. So we don't have Congo Bongo Island. But I told you I'm not going to get upset about that anymore, Malik. I'm a changed man. Turned over a new leaf. It's one of those maple leaves that you're now smoking up there. So I'm calm. It's making me calm. It's reducing my anxiety. I'm not getting agitated anymore by that godforsaken cartoon show. Inky Dinky Doo, shut up. There's no Inky Dinky Doo. There's the Tiki Tak tribe and Tiki Tong. There's no Inky Dinky Doo. And there's Womps those one times guarding the pathways, but only because they were playing a life-size board game. Andre says, I like to imagine Elliot still lives next door to Hyle, but just goes to cartoonishly extreme lengths to prevent his presence from being discovered. Actually, though, we didn't live next door to each other. I apologize if I was not clear about that. We lived about 5 to 7 miles apart. But easily reachable via automobile. But yeah, I don't know where he is, but I like to imagine he's nearby, and he listens to the conversation just to keep tabs on what's going on with me. Maybe he's been poisoning my cheese and tomato sauce, and that's the reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Something to remember me by. Indigestion.
He also says, We are the Toads. Lower your capes and surrender your power stars. We will add your design and character distinctiveness to our own. Your game lore will adapt to serve us. Resistance is futile. Referencing Battlestar Galactica, of course, there.
Yeah. That's where that's from.
The droids from off of Battlestar Galactica. My favorite characters. Captain Cheesebag says, in reference to the aforementioned scarring, same. And I was such an idiot that when I got blisters on my palms, I would wait until it healed and then do it to myself all over again. The desire to wind up that mecha fly guy was too great. You weren't an idiot. You were dedicated. You were determined. We were determined to beat this game and to be the best. Captain Cheesebag. There's no shame in that. We put our bodies on a line for Mario Party, for the Donkey Kong universe. And I think there's something admirable about that. But yeah, probably,
I think so.
Probably stupid, because this was probably right around the time, people my age were like having sex. Well, whatever. I mean, I eventually had sex, so. Won't talk about the blisters from my first time. So anyway, blah 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 blah. Andre says, come to think of it, for someone whose favorite movie is Ghostbusters, it's surprising you never gave Luigi's Mansion a chance. The thing about that, Andre, is Ghostbusters is this perfect storm of... It's not just that I like the concept, it's that it was 3 actors and Ernie Hudson at the height of their comedic
I see
career.
how it is.
No, I love Ernie Hudson. I love Winston, but let's be honest. Like that movie, it was those 3 guys, and then Winston came in later. Winston had a much bigger role in Ghostbusters 2, and he was one of the most delightful parts of that movie. But the original Ghostbusters,
right.
when you're just talking about it, it was Ramis, it was Aykroyd, and it was Murray.
I get that.
Winston was written as an afterthought, and Ernie Hudson wasn't a comedian. He was an actor that they brought on to play that role. But you had those 3 actors at the height of their comedic careers, and they each brought something different to that movie and to the screenplay. Murray brought the very, very dry, sardonic wit, and he improvised some lines. Ramis really was the one who brought that screenplay together after the mess that Aykroyd brought. But then Aykroyd brought this real... like dedication to actual ghost lore, and because Dan Aykroyd really has an intense belief in the supernatural, and it's serious to him. So Ghostbusters lore is actually based on a lot of real New Age lore. So there's this credibility to it that I don't really find with Luigi's Mansion. But Grab by the Ghoulies is perfect. It's ace. Because it's just crackpot inventing the monsters, and he's basing them off of mythology, so it works there.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant.
But I don't have anything against Luigi's Mansion. I'm just saying I didn't get it. Just because Ghostbusters is my favorite movie doesn't mean Luigi's Mansion would be inherently appealing. I don't just like the concept of Ghostbusters. I like everything that movie is. It's perfection, and it's almost a happy accident the way it all worked out. Which is why I don't care about this new Ghostbusters movie. I don't care if it takes place in the same continuity. Yeah, that's a step in the right direction, but a new Ghostbusters movie will probably not approach anywhere near the quality of that original, because it was a perfect storm. It was a happy accident, and lightning
in a bottle.
I don't think you can build a franchise off of it, no matter what you do. Even Ghostbusters 2 was vastly inferior to the original and had the same crew. So anyway,
cartoon looks like a lot of fun though. I want to watch that. Sit down one day and watch it. It used to be on TV a couple years ago, but I never sat down and watched it.
Yeah, and then the rest. And then sorry, the rest was just Andre doing Clinton impressions, and I don't need to belabor that. So Final thoughts, Malik. Final thoughts on this first episode of the Kongversation, Season 7. Final thoughts on Mario Party, a game you have not played. Well, thank you for being here for 2.5 hours, regardless.
Oh, no problem. I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I did pretty good.
You know what you're
talking
talking. You know the subject matter, even if you haven't experienced it yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried my darndest, and I know what a Mario Party is. I know about the blisters and all that. But yeah.
Mario Party.
I think I did that pretty okay.
You know about Fun Gus now, so
I know about Fun Gus. I know about the parrot. I actually want to go back and maybe play a couple of these games and maybe destroy bonds that I've had with people for quite a while.
Exactly.
See what happens.
My perspective is that Mario Party obviously has its share of flaws. It's not the best game when you're just trying to play it by yourself against the CPU. It's not very, but I did it because I wanted to quote unquote beat it, and to me, beating a game is beating whatever the computer has to throw at you, and
right.
Whatever the AI is. And to me, beating a game, even if it's a fluffy little party game designed, to play with your friends and family, it's not. It's you still got to beat it by beating the CPU. So. I did it, and I enjoyed it at the time. And at the time, those flaws didn't matter because it was a novel experience. It was fresh. It was a fresh way to experience the world of Mario and a little slice of Donkey Kong's world as well. Like I said, it had world building in a Mario game, which we really got away from at a certain point, and it felt like... outside of Super Mario RPG, which had come out 3 years, and Paper Mario still wasn't out at this time, so world building in a Mario game, it was a rarity. And
right.
So yeah, I loved what Mario Party did. The design philosophies it brought over, the Malesian design philosophies, it made me unintentionally borrowed from Donkey Kong Country. I loved all of that, but the N64 trilogy is obviously a case of diminishing returns. And I know Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3 have their fair share of fans who will breathlessly defend those games. And I quite enjoy both 2 and 3 as well. It reminds me a bit of the Star Wars prequels, oddly enough. So,
how so?
The Phantom Menace gets all of this grief, Malik, but when you actually go back and you watch all 3 back to back to back, or you have to pace yourself because that would just drive anybody to suicide. It was huge. The Phantom Menace was a huge, messy, and off-putting movie, but it had gusto. It went for it, man. It threw everything in the kitchen sink in there. And
Jar Jar.
And, well, he's included with everything. So, as the trilogy wore on, the Star Wars prequel trilogy, it just felt more and more tired and kind of half-assed and just going through the motions. It didn't really have the spark, the investment that the first one had. George Lucas really cared about that first one, and you could tell he was just demoralized with 2 and 3, and he was just ticking off those boxes. Let's just get it done. We're just gonna film the rest on a studio, shot, reverse shot. Fuck it, we're done. Print, take it to my CGI wizards, and maybe they can make something out of this. So in this analogy,
anything bad happens, don't call me.
Yeah, in this analogy, I guess Tumble from Mario Party 3 would therefore be General Grievous, but that's sort of what I see with Mario Party. And Hudson Soft, I don't think, became demoralized like George Lucas, but they kind of just grew tired with it, but they somehow still kept churning them out because they were financially lucrative and they were probably cheap to make. So they just got the notion that, hey, we're Hudson Soft, the studio mostly known for Bomberman games. We're going to have to, we're making money with these Mario Party games. This is bringing income into the studio, Nintendo's game, so why don't we just keep making them? And then they turn it into an annual tradition. Every year through Mario Party 7 saw an annual Mario Party release. Or more so when you throw in the portable titles. So
Yeah, I count those.
Well, I know, but just looking
if you
at
count
the
those like even today, it's still sort of kind of annual.
Yeah, but you look at the console releases alone. The first 7 were released back to back to back to back to back to back. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but you know what I mean. So, starting from 1999 to the mid-aughts, and had Mario Party, the series, remained generational, like one per console, like Mario Kart, like Super Smash Bros., I think it would be viewed with a lot more esteem and regard. Yeah, they sell well, obviously, and Super Mario Party, I think, has broken the sales record for the series, at least as far as like how quickly it's sold. But you know, there's kind of this critical, not disdain for the Mario Party series, but it's just kind of written off as, oh yeah, Mario Party. I think
like people are just generally exhausted. It's like, oh yay, another Mario Party.
Even with Super Mario Party, which was a very good game and a return to form and maybe the best Mario Party game, it was still, it's just Mario Party. But had they'd been smarter about it and released Mario Party, and then not released a Mario Party game until when, say, Mario Party 4 came out, or even after that, if they like timed it the middle of the GameCube's lifespan, because Mario Party, the original, came out in the middle to the end of the N64's lifespan, so you know they could have timed it for that era of when a console was prevalent, and you know they could have done portable releases too for the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance, and you know, you're gonna pry Mario Party E for the e-reader out of my cold dead hands, Malik. So let's not even go there. I can't wait for Spotlight Mario Party E. It's gonna be a hell of an episode. It's gonna be a chunky episode, one hell of an episode. But
Wait, is Donkey Kong even in that one?
Oh, well, that's a whole story. Yes and no, but yes, just enough to make it DKU.
Drat.
So anyway, it would never be as esteemed as Super Smash Bros., obviously, because Super Smash Bros. Is a phenomenon. And it would never be like Mario Kart, because Mario Kart is just the perennial party favorite. But I think it would be somewhere between Mario Kart and the Camelot games, golf and tennis. Somewhere in that range. And I think it's a shame, and it does a disservice to this original Mario Party game, which, despite the bleeding, despite the frustration, despite
the literal blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, the blood, the blister crust, and despite the bloody feathers in Fabio's face, it had gusto. It had Phantom Menace gusto, man. And you look at like Mario Party 3 just 2 years later, and they're going through the motions. There's very little world building. It just we're gonna present this stuff to you in a more cut and dry fashion. It felt like that spark had been extinguished. Like there's nobody getting burned to death by steam. You know, they're like, this is
no
what
torture, no people laughing at their pain and misery.
This is what I look for in a Mario Party game, Malik, and I don't think it's much to ask. But had they spaced them out, had Hudson not been so greedy, or maybe Nintendo, I don't really know the circumstances behind the way they decided to release these games, but because Mario Party 2 came out less than a year after Mario Party, came out in January 99, or January 2000, excuse me, so...
Wow.
Yeah. 11 months between releases. It was ridiculous. So, had it remained generational, I think it would be viewed much more favorably. It would be viewed as a classic and not the kind of cheap and tawdry cash-in that it rightfully became viewed as. But we shouldn't hold that against the original Mario Party, and that's a mistake I've made throughout the years. I've basically damned the original Mario Party as a result of my dissatisfaction with later Mario Party games. I think 3 is really when I started having it with this series. And 4 and 5 just, I think, really killed me off completely. Like Mario Party 5, I just had to like walk away from it for a while, and because, you know,
I stopped caring about Mario Party after Donkey Kong stopped being playable.
Yeah, but they kept him in the series, which was just the worst Like
He's still there. You just can't play as him. His model is there.
You want to talk about Bowser's Magma Mountain? Well, that was my own version of hell. A game I had to buy because Donkey Kong was in it, but I couldn't play as Donkey Kong. He was just sort of there, and you had to land on his face to see him at all. Like, that was the 4th place punishment I got throughout the middle years of the Mario Party series. That was my own punishment. But yeah,
look but don't touch.
The original Mario Party, it's a shame that it's not available in the eShop, and it might be because of the spinny bleed of the whole situation. Like they probably don't want to put it on the eShop because of that reason, and that actually makes a whole lot of sense. But that's a shame because it's probably the best Mario Party as far as the inventiveness and the sheer giddiness of it. Super Mario Party is still, I think, fundamentally the best, but you're never going to top your first time, at least as far as memories go. Blisters included.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.